Welcome to another day of SYC action, live from Kansas. I'm looking around because I don't think we're plugged into the Wi-Fi. Or I think we're plugged into the Wi-Fi, which is terrifying. So I'm going to have to fix that. I'm joined by Spencer Robarge. Hey, Spencer.
Hey, how are you?
How's technology treating you today?
Not very good, just like normal.
Maybe I did plug it in. Maybe I'm better than I think I am. Actually. Anyway, all right, Spencer.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Spencer, welcome to another day of live streaming from North Rock Lanes. We are in Wichita, Kansas, and this is the final 5 games, round 3. This is when the champions are. They can taste it, right?
Yeah.
How do Sundays feel at the SYC to the bowler?
Anytime that I was bowling on a Sunday at one of these tournaments, I was always trying to just run them over as much as physically possible and try to make it to where when people bowled 250, they were not gaining any ground on me. So.
All right.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I like it.
We'll see.
Okay, so today the bowlers are bowling on the long pattern, and you have it over beside you.
I do.
What is the length? What is the volume? Because we can't really see that on the screen.
Yeah.
So we'll walk through it.
So it's 46 feet, and it is 26 mils. And there's quite a bit in the middle. There's not a whole lot on the outside. So you can't play the gutter, but you can probably play in the middle part of the lane.
Okay.
So
there's the official assessment by the record holder of SYC titles. Currently at 12, tied with Jillian Martin. Both have aged out. They're the ones to beat, people. Spencer, when do you think your record will be broken? It's hard to get 12 titles. Yeah.
I think so.
You do?
Yeah.
When do you have an estimate for when you think it'll be broken? Not that I'm encouraging people to break it.
No, I am. I mean,
you want people to break your record?
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Yeah. Because I bowled for however long I bowled, but there's kids that have bowled them a little longer, and they should beat me. So I'm hoping that there's a few names out there that have got quite a few shields on their banner. So
yeah, I think right now our top chaser is Gianna Brandolino.
Yes.
With 9.
Yeah.
Her banner could change colors very quickly this year.
It's true. But it's great that there's a girl coming up that's going to probably pass.
Oh yeah.
Jillian's side, but we need a guy.
Oh, that's
we need a guy.
True.
So.
Yeah, I don't know who the next.
I see a couple of 5s. I see a Jordan. I'm guessing that's Landon Jordan.
The Landon probably is the top one. He has. Let me pull up how many he has.
But there's also Mateo.
Mateo is young.
I think has 4 or 5.
Yeah. So right now, you and Jillian are tied for 12. Gianna has 8. Mabel, who's aged out, had 6.
Okay.
Landon has 5, and Mateo has 5. So
okay.
They actually are tied right now.
Okay.
So Landon's a little older. But you know who else? Keegan Alexander has 4.
Okay.
And he has a couple more years in U18. I could see him making a little run here.
It's gonna have to bowl pretty good at quite a few of them. With I don't know how many you guys are running a year each year, but if you're running 12 a year, you don't run 12 a year.
We don't run 12. We usually, I think. So we don't run SYC events in July because of Junior Gold.
Right.
And then we usually take December off, too, because of the holidays. And January is also usually a dark month.
Okay.
But we're getting very, very close for those who are watching. We're in the final stages of finalizing our SYC 2023 schedule.
Okay.
We are hoping to have that announced on October 12th. That is
not too far from now.
No, and on September 20th, we're hosting. Storm started doing virtual events for seasons. So we have our fall event coming up on September 20th, and there might be an announcement about the SYC on that event. So we're getting really close to kind of finalizing it. There are so many cities that want the SYC to come
Right.
there, so it's just kind of navigating that. But anyway, welcome everybody to a fun day at the SYC. I'm going to run through some of the bowlers that you're watching. We have on lanes 15 and 16, Miss Abigail Starkey, Caitlin Toney, Bethany Strong, Allison Shattuck, Haley Swindle, and Kaylee Stockstill. And then on 17 and 18, Miss Maddie Phillips, Alicia Oden, Peyton Rowley, Tally Scott, Eliana Ochino, and Macy Proctor. So those are the bowlers that you're watching. We'll be talking about them. I'm going to try to pull up some bios. Spencer, you know a few of these bowlers.
Yeah. Maddie's from Springfield. Tally is from, I want to say, Kansas City. We used to bowl some tournaments in that area. So,
Nice.
I know a couple of people here.
Yeah. Miss Alicia Oden, who throws it great, left-hander, up on 17. She's a senior in high school.
Okay.
And she's starting to kind of finalize what she wants to do. I heard from her dad right before it started, she wants to be an engineer. She's a smarty.
Okay. Not my forte by any stretch.
Peyton Rowley, who's on lane 17, she was one of our gold medalists.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have a bio for her. I don't. But she was not a gold medalist. She was a
Silver?
silver medalist. Okay. Yes. She was in the middle of that picture. Yeah, Gianna was bronze. And Sydney Bone was gold.
That's right.
In that division.
That's right.
But you did mention Maddie.
Yes.
So Maddie Phillips, who's on lane 18, she said she had a very rough start yesterday, but had a better block in the afternoon. She is from Springfield, Missouri. She's 17 years old. Her home bowling center is Sunshine Lanes. That is such a fun name for a bowling center.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
Sunshine Lanes. I want to bowl at Sunshine Lanes. Her favorite pro bowler is Verity Crawley. She enjoys most about bowling the competition and friends. And she made match play at Junior Gold in 2021, and she also holds a PBA Junior title. I love her cool fun fact, and I follow this. Maddie has an original song out on Spotify under Maddie May. And I encourage you all to go listen to it. She wrote it and performed it in the pandemic, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she just wants to say hi to her grandparents in Springfield who might be watching. So hi, grandparents in Springfield.
This is a new experience because of the 4 people that just threw shots on the live stream.
Yeah.
3 of them were left-handed.
What is that? What is going on?
That doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm pretty sure they all struck.
Would that stress you out if you were bowling with other left-handers? Or do you like bowling with left-handers?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what they're trying to do.
Okay.
If they're playing in a different part of the lane, go to town. If they're playing where I'm playing, I mean, are we supposed to move? Like, are we supposed to move our feet?
Well, some people say yes.
Oh, well, I find that when I bowl with other left-handers, I have to move my feet more, which, I don't know. It's just not something that left-handers usually do.
You don't
Isn't
want
that
to
right?
move?
Isn't that right?
I think I'll defer to the chat.
Yeah.
Chat, what do you think? Should Spencer move or not? Let us know.
Yeah.
We're on the edge of our seat.
Yeah.
So on lane 16, we also have Miss Abigail Starkey. She's part of the Evolution team at Storm. She picked up her first PBA Junior National title this year.
Okay.
Pretty cool. That's a fun program. I love PBA Junior. And today, PBA Junior offers another scholarship. So we have the Never Give Up scholarship.
That's
is
right.
in play. So all of the gold medalists on the long pattern earn a bonus scholarship courtesy of PBA Junior for $250.
Wow.
Andrew Burgess says, lefty love and yes, move your feet.
I don't know if I agree.
Spencer is not convinced. You guys can keep trying. That was a nice shot by Haley Swindle over there
Is that
on 15.
15? Yeah. That one had some power on it.
It did. She told Leanne yesterday. Leanne was telling me a little bit about Haley, and she told her that she's really been working on her game, and it shows. Like we both noticed it. So
Shot looked good. Everything looked pretty good about that.
the other person I think who's been working on her game is Alicia Oden, and she just threw that shot. She's from Council Bluffs, Iowa. She bowls at Thunder Bowl.
Yep.
And she really loves meeting new people through the sport. And she shot her very first 300 recently and finished second at the Survivor Tournament at Junior Gold this year. She's also in the show choir. And she just wants to thank her mom and dad and brother for bringing her this weekend and being with her throughout the bowling.
So we got a couple of singers on this pair.
We do, yeah. Maddie and Alicia. So here's what's funny. So I know that. So Maddie filled out her bio. She is a singer. Alicia now is in show choir. Eliana, I know, bakes. Like all these people are.
They do stuff.
They're like talented.
Huh.
I wouldn't know about this. Another talented bowler, another lefty, Spencer, Bethany Strong.
She made a spare. That's good.
She is
That's
from
helpful.
Ohio. You know, your favorite thing when
I have no problem with people from Ohio. I have no problem with people from Ohio. If you're from Ohio, good on you. Good job.
Yeah, we love Ohio people.
Blair especially loves Ohio people.
Yeah, well, you know, it
I
is
wonder
my
why.
hometown.
I wonder why.
It's kind of like how you like people from Springfield.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess.
So you're always going to give a shout out. Plus, the youth bowling scene has gotten so much better since I've left Ohio. So maybe I was the problem. I got out.
Maybe they were waiting for you to go away so that they could do all the good stuff.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think that's it. But
A lot of love.
Bethany Strong, who's bowling on 15 and 16, she always likes to give a shout out to her family at Cooper's Bowl, and their pro shop operator there, Bill Ludwig, is one of the best, and they call themselves Bill's Ballers, which I love. So they have a little crew of bowlers that drill their equipment, and her shout outs are awesome. She just shouts out her coaches, Brianna Wells, Michael Williams II, and Quincy Walker, and then hold on, everyone. I'm getting a message, and I'm yes. He can come in again. Yep. Whatever game he wants. I'm back. Sorry. We're figuring out stuff here. Anyway, Bethany, shout out to her coaches, and shout out to Bill Ludwig, who knows the sport inside and out and always does the best work, getting the best fit for bowling balls. And she's really accomplished. So she won 4 titles in the JTBA. She's coming along. All right, who else can I talk about? Let's talk about Kaylee. Let's see if she filled out her bio. This is the test. I don't have one for Kaylee. I will tell you that Kaylee has been very early to the bowling center before each squad and puts her headphones on. So I think that she is one that gets in the zone with music.
Okay. Maybe she needs the ones on 17 and 18 to just sing.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they'll be happy. She'll be happy. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, so Miss Allie, Allie over there on 15, who, that's a double for her, I believe. Let me see if she filled out a bio. I will tell you, she's picked up a bunch of splits this weekend. I've seen her, just as I'm walking past, she just picks up splits.
Okay.
That's what she does.
Okay. It's usually a good thing to have.
Allie, I don't have a bio from you, though. How can I talk about it? Oh, wait, I lied. I do have a bio. Allie's from Cincinnati, Ohio, which I knew. Another Ohioan. See? She home bowling center Western Bowl. She shot her very first 300 this year during a high school match. And she just always thanks her family who has traveled with her. And she just loves to pick up splits. That's what I've observed. We have Papa Starkey in the chat cheering on Abby. Hello, Papa. And I think I saw Abby's dad too, Brad. Brad, were you in there? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't see Brad. Got lots of people in the chat. Thanks for joining us this Sunday morning. Cheer on your favorite bowler. They can feel the love from the chat, I promise. Abby is starting with lots of spares this morning. She's a stellar spare shooter.
Well, that's a good thing to have at a tournament like this because it is not about striking every time you get on the approach.
Nice shot by Caitlin Tony. Caitlin works really hard at the game too, and her mom, Rachel, is a great coach.
Yeah.
So should I even cloud one of our bowlers?
I
up
don't
there?
think so.
Okay, I'm not going to mention it.
I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
All right, there's someone bowling good. We're going to just leave it at that and let it get a little further going, and then we might discuss it. How's that?
It's on the left pair. That's all. It's on the left pair.
Yes. That might have even jinxed it.
No.
All right.
Not my fault.
Spencer is very concerned that the bowlers are going to watch this back. He doesn't know if he can handle the pressure of being the black cloud. You joined our club. It's a club. It's a fun club. Gary's in it. Dell's in it. I'm in it.
You're in a club with Gary?
And Dell.
You guys are polar opposites.
I know.
How does that work?
Because we both cloud people on the live stream booth. It's the Black Cloud Club.
Well, any club with Hall of Famer Dell Ballard in it is an okay club to be in.
I think he's the president of it.
He's the president of many clubs
yeah.
that I'm trying to join.
Yeah.
Dell, that's you. Come on. You know.
Dell's sleeping. Dell's not awake this early.
Yeah.
He's at parents' weekend. He's being a college kid.
That's right. Dell, a college kid.
I know, right?
I'm not sure No. I'll leave that one there.
Well, if Dell ever does appear, Dell and Carolyn are always a part of the SYC because Ballard versus the Big C is the chosen charity, and we are raising money this weekend for BBBC. $10 of every entry does go back to that awesome charity, and you can look it up online. And I just think, why not? If you're a bowler, support a charity within the sport that you know where the money goes.
Yeah.
And I'm not questioning any other charities. Don't get mad at me. But literally, we know the organization and the hospitals and the people, like we can go back and meet people that BBBC has helped, which is really cool. And it's just through bowling.
Right.
These lefties are really good.
I know. I'm sitting here
in shock,
thinking about how I would be bowling 194 and
getting beat.
Yeah, I'm getting smoked, and I think all three of them are on pace to bowl at least 220.
Oh, see, we
Ah.
did jinx her.
Oh
Man.
my gosh.
Okay, so Haley Swindle had 6 in a row. She was on lane 16. And just by even thinking about it, we jinxed her. Haley, we'll take that one. It was a good shot, though.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you got to miss by much, and you can leave everyone's favorite pin.
The 10 pin.
The 10 pin.
The dreaded 10 pin.
Yeah. The good news is everybody here is a great spare shooter.
Yes.
So they're probably not missing very many 10 pins. So
Yes.
they've got that going for them.
Absolutely. And she covers her spare.
See,
you didn't jinx her. Good job.
I can't black cloud great spare shooting.
Yeah, you can't.
No. Whoa.
Yeah. Eliana just tried to bounce one out and pick it up the hard way. That would have been exciting.
Wasn't it yesterday afternoon that we had the pin come back to the arrows?
Yes, on this pair.
On this pair of lanes.
Yes, it was yesterday. Yes, that did happen.
This area right in front of the control desk, I think it's 16 to 20, 15 to 20. I have never seen in a bowling center more 710s, more big fours, more everything converted than on these 2 or 3 pair of lanes.
Oh, that's great. Maybe we'll have some action on live stream.
You've got some boys coming down here soon. You've got some girls that throw them a little harder at spares.
Yeah.
So hopefully nobody's leaving any 710s, but
I heard there was a bowler yesterday. I can't remember the name. John Boris was telling me last night. He was filming just bowlers throughout because they have a cool YouTube channel. And he filmed the specific bowler, which I still cannot remember the name of. I'm trying to delay to remember the name, and it's not working. He left 5 710s throughout the day yesterday.
Well.
And 3 were on film.
Great. I don't think I have to be worried about people coming after me. I think somebody's going to come after John.
Yeah, no kidding. We're safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Great strike.
We've got this barrier here. Nobody's coming in. That was a good shot.
We had a great strike on 18 by Eliana and a great little. Was that what do you call that? Is it a messenger?
Trip 4-9.
Trip 4-9. That's what. Yeah, on 16 by Miss Abby Starkey. Oh, here you go. Here's a. See, we're jinxing people from inside the booth without even knowing it. Jeremy Combs says his sister, who's here with Jaden this weekend, has seen 5 710s this morning already on Jaden's pair and the surrounding pairs.
Great.
That's not very many. Just kidding. I got jokes today.
This is the kind of place, though, I think if you leave one of those, that you can't be too terribly upset because almost everywhere in this building you got a chance of making it.
It's true.
You might make it. Everybody will stop what they're doing.
Ugh.
They'll come up and shake your hand and go, that was neat.
Yeah.
But what was not neat was that 9 pin.
That was mean.
That was not nice.
That was on a double.
Yeah.
Come on, 9 pin. Work with us here. I believe Bethany is using too strong of a ball. Bethany, if you watch this back later, you're throwing it great. I just think, although she has a double in there, so what do I know? That ball just looked like it ran out of
juice
down there. It was working too hard.
Well, I would say throw urethane balls, but that's not really all that useful, so try it infinite physics.
Oh, Spencer does love the new infinite physics.
Yes.
Get it. Oh, yeah. We'll take that spare. Come on. Smile, Bethany. Smile. Our friend Squidly, which I like that username, Squidly, says he was watching on YouTube. He says, these young ladies are really good. Makes me look terrible. Don't worry. That's how I feel every time I come to an SYC. These young bowlers are so unbelievably talented across the boards. Francois Lavoie was in the booth yesterday with me, and we really were commenting on how not only just talented they are. But and you fall into this category, Spencer. Like the fundamentals of youth bowlers today, this next generation is incredible,
Right.
which speaks to not only their coaching. So the coaching across the country has gotten like loads better since
Right.
I was a kid, and not calling out any of my coaches. Please don't come after me with a pitchfork. But I'm just saying, like fundamentally, these kids are learning and listening. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I didn't listen.
That could. I hear clapping.
I
That
hear
could
clapping
be.
too.
That could be it. Maybe
Yeah.
you just didn't listen.
Anyway, fundamentally, these youth bowlers are simply incredible. So,
Yeah.
well done to all of you.
Well, and it seems like the age thing doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, the one that bowled 298 yesterday, I don't remember his name.
Miles Gordon,
Okay, what division's he in?
U12.
Yeah, that's yeah. He bowled 258, then he bowled 298. Had a 20 bagger in there, and this is not a house shot.
Right.
They're tougher than a house shot. I mean,
Yeah, it's
he had
not.
550 after two, and he had a pretty. I don't know what he bowled after that, but I mean, little game that's slightly lower. He's going to bowl 800. He's probably leading the tournament by a bunch.
He is leading the tournament. Yesterday, the last game actually, Miles and Trevor Mason, they're bowling on the same pair, and they've been 1-2 the whole tournament. And yesterday, Trevor was ahead of Miles going into the last game, and Miles actually came back and beat him that last game to move into the gold medal position. So he is first overall right now. And I can look it up. I don't know how close it is.
This is where the score watching starts.
Okay, so Jeremy said 300 alert. Jeremy, you're getting better info than we are in the booth. So
yeah,
please,
we don't know anything.
Please fill us in because I don't know where it is. Aiden Farnsworth. Thank you. Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay.
You officially are a better sideline reporter than my sideline reporters in the building. Oh, wait. Was that a 300? Oh, we got one. Okay, my sideline reporter officially showed up. And it was Aiden Farnsworth. And the video is incoming.
Don't you have one of those contraptions that he's got his phone on?
I do. I copied it from him.
I still can't figure out what that. I mean, it like you
Do
move.
you want me to let you use it?
No, I don't. I'd want you to keep it as far away from me as physically possible. But I was watching you carry it around. I think it was Friday night. And
Yeah, it's fun.
You move and it moves with you, and I don't know. It's like
It's great.
yeah, technology.
Aiden Farnsworth. I have the official video, everyone. Maybe I could show it in my little screen here. Look, you have a 300 in your. Oh wait, don't look at that. Never mind. I'll stop trying. Anyway, do you want to run down some scores? Our A bowler. I have the names for you.
Yeah, that'll help. So let's see, 15 and 16. So 17 and 18. Maddie Phillips bowled 170. Alicia Oden, 211. Peyton Rowley, 214. Tally Scott, 135. Eliana Ochino, sorry if I mispronounced, 174. And Mary Proctor is up on the mound, getting ready to throw the pitch. Pitch is out.
Pitch is good.
10 back. Was there ever a question? 10 back.
Never.
So.
Who was the 214?
Peyton Rowley.
Peyton Rowley. All right, so game 2, I'll start pulling up bowl metrics. Once we get the scores in, we start looking, we'll start calling out some. I do know for a fact that unless something detrimental has happened in game 1, which I doubt, in the U15 girls, which I see her mom, so she might be coming to this pair, Bella Love Castillo had a very large lead yesterday. Okay. So it looks like that title might be kind of
Locked up.
locked up.
Okay.
But anything can happen, really. I shouldn't.
Yep.
I mean, but Bella was pretty far in advance.
Gotcha.
Pretty far in the lead. Listen, people, I'm drinking my coffee, I promise. I'm also trying to get this, I'm doing technology over here, Spencer, because I'm trying to get the 300 so that I can just strap it in.
I hope that I can use said technology soon to help with the scores.
Yeah, that's what you are doing. After this game, after we finish watching 15 and 16, you're heading out.
I am.
And you're going to go and do some score keeping today.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this?
As long as it works. I'm okay with technology when it works. When it doesn't work, pencil and paper. If it's going to work, great. If it's not.
All right, so the A bowler, who is the A bowler on 15?
Abigail Starkey.
203 for Miss Abigail.
That's a pretty clean 203. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spares.
It was clean.
1 double.
It wasn't pretty clean. It was clean.
It was a good, yeah. Caitlin Toney had 185. Allison Shatuk, hope I said that right, 169. And Haley Swindle, really great game, 243.
Yeah, she had that rough washout in the 10th.
Little trouble in the 10th frame.
But still a solid game.
Yeah.
So that'll move her up in the standings.
Yeah.
And, we're chasing that Never Give Up scholarship today.
That's true.
So who knows? Haley might be off to a really great start. I mean, she is off to a great start. Bethany liked that one.
That was not a reactive ball.
Nope.
And you know what? It looked pretty good.
Yeah, it did look good. I would stick with that one.
I might be partial, but...
Why? Because you like urethane?
Maybe. I don't know. It's
Bethany, I would
classified.
listen. I would listen to Spencer Robart if I were you. He's kind of good.
No.
Little good.
No.
You're good.
No, I don't know about that.
Spencer. Oh, come on, Paul. Oh, all right. Good job, Bethany. I hear clapping. I hear Dad clapping behind me. So, what do you think what's your prediction of what she does after leaving that 10 pin on this fill ball? Or what would you do if you were stepping up?
I would probably move. I mean, I don't know where the limit is of where you can move left, where your ball just sparks instantly.
Yeah.
I would say probably try to get closer to it.
Okay.
A little left.
Okay. You mean you'd move your feet?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. I know.
It looks like Bethany did move a little bit.
Okay.
She moved a little. I don't think she moved left, though.
She moved right?
It looked like she might have moved right. Wow, that looks great.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Whatever she did, just do that.
So she got out with 187 in the
Which is a solid first game.
And the Kaylee Stockstill, 197.
Yeah, all solid.
Yeah.
Great solid first games.
Pretty good.
All right, Spencer, I don't know if we will have you back in. I hope we will. But if not, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For joining us this weekend. And good luck this season at Wichita State.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm excited to cheer you on.
Well, thank you.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to have a little bit of a lane change, and we'll be back with more fun. All right, we are back, and I am joined again by Mr. Two-time U.S. Open champion, Francois Lavoie. Frankie, welcome back to the live stream booth today.
Thank you.
So now you are the 300 expert, so I'm glad that you're here today to discuss this. But before we go back to the pair lanes, they're still kind of in the first frame and they're getting ready. But we've had 2 300 games at the SYC, and I have both of the videos loaded in. The first one is by Micah Forrest. It happened yesterday at the end of the medium block. And then apparently, in game 1, Aiden Farnsworth started with a 300.
Yeah, up at the high end, I think.
Yeah, so I have the videos. I'm going to play them now, and then we'll come back and show some bowling.
Leaning on the 10.
All right, so we're back. Wow, these kids are so talented. So those 300s, both of those final 10 frames look pretty solid, right?
Pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not showing any sign of nerves.
It's amazing.
Dangerous.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, would be shaking like a leaf. So, but you know, you spoke a little bit in the seminar, and a lot of people that have seen you bowl 300 on TV, we couldn't tell you were nervous, but you said, I was really nervous, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's normal. I think everybody gets nervous.
Yeah.
You get in a situation like that, it's hard to, you know, we train a lot. I was at Wichita State for 4 years, and now I'm bowling on tour, and we try to train the mental game as much as possible, and we try to practice so that when we get to those moments, the goal is to basically be on autopilot, right? So that you don't have to think about anything. You keep things simple, you keep your mind clear, and you just execute a good shot like you do every day at practice. That's really the goal. It's a lot easier said than it is done, for sure.
Sure.
But that's how I try to view it.
Well, I think you do a pretty good job at it, and I think these kids are learning from watching the pros bowl. You know, they watch a lot of bowling, so they're modeling a lot of behavior that they see, which I think is great. So, all right, nice spare by our D bowler on lane 17 and 18. I'm going to run through some of the names of the bowlers we're watching. That was Miss Brianna Joseph that just got that spare, but we are our main live stream pairs. We have 15 and 16 and 17 and 18. So on 15 and 16, we have Jordan Betchart, Danae Loomis, Peyton Farnsworth, Riker Emerson, Addison Moo Cole, and Bella Castillo. Now Bella is currently leading the U15 girls division. She is having a very good tournament.
She's won gold in both of the first events, right?
Yes.
Going for the perfect weekend.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull up some bowl metric scores after probably frame 5 when they start getting the scores from game 1 loaded in, and we'll look at some overall stuff. And then on 17 and 18, we have Riley Emerson, Kyra Durham, Bailey Sechrist, Brianna Joseph, Tori Franklin, and Addison Harvey. So some great young bowlers right in front of us to watch. Now, Francois, you've been to a few of the SYCs. What are some of your just overall observations about the tournament?
There's a lot. There's a lot. More and more banners. I'm seeing that every time I come. There seems to be more banners out there, or more logos on the same banners.
Right.
So that means there's a lot more champions. That means the tournaments are growing and getting bigger. That's a good thing. The talent level is just really good. Every time I come here, there seems to be somebody that I've either seen before that all of a sudden has become really good, or somebody completely new that I haven't seen before that's really good. I've seen a lot of that on both sides, the boys and the girls.
Sure.
Just the growth. The growth is really nice to see. I remember some of the first couple we had. One of the first ones, the first SYC I've been to, I think was one of the first ones in Reno.
Yeah.
And that was, one of the first ones. That was a fun tournament, but now it's become a staple on every youth bowler's calendar. They try to, we talked about how quickly it sells out. These bowlers are at their computers, ready to try to sign up as soon as they can, because they know if they don't get there as soon as the registration opens, they're going to miss out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of incredible, and the first one sold out, which, like, going back to 2017 and just thinking about that is mind blowing, because it's like that we didn't even know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it sold out.
It was very different. I remember when I was in Reno, we had a few pros there.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of different challenges with the pros, and we had some we put together some Spotify playlists and kind of shared some music with the kids.
Yeah, we still have those playlists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you go there, if you search Storm Bowling on Spotify, you still can see some of the pros picks. I'm sure your music taste might have changed.
It'd be interesting to see what songs I put on there at the time.
Yeah, it was fun. We launched the Spotify back then, and it really did. We've had the SYC has evolved a little bit, because that first event we were only doing one a year. Well, we thought we were only doing one a year, and then we did a second one that year.
Yep.
But it's really interesting because it was more days. I think we did it around when spring break occurred for most athletes. And so people came in Thursday. Friday was a full day. We had a lot of pros. And over the years, listening to feedback from the parents and realizing that the kids just wanted to bowl more, it's really changed. It's changed the tournament. So it's great that so many of the families have supported it. I mean, the SYC wouldn't be what it is without, of course, the support of Bill and Barb, but also the support of all the families and all the bowlers that come and compete and then tell us what they want to see. And some stuff we can't make happen, but we do try to listen to a lot of the feedback and try to incorporate it into it. So anyway, it's crazy how far it's come. So I'm wondering if Farnsworth over here, or I'm sorry, Peyton Farnsworth, he has to be related to Aiden Farnsworth, right?
I would say so. I would think so.
I would. So Peyton's brother just rocked it with a 300. Maybe Aiden. I'm sorry, I'm confusing them. Peyton is the one we're watching. Aiden got the 300. Peyton, follow Aiden's lead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking and see if we have any bios. Let's see what we got today. There is a lot of clapping going on. I have no idea what's going on. I just feel like stuff is going on today. We're out of the loop. I do have a bio for Ms. Kyra Durham up on line 18. She's from Mansfield, Texas. Favorite pro bowler, Stephanie Johnson. She bowled a 300 at state on Father's Day, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's in choir. She has soprano 1 and soprano 2 voice parts. And she loves to cook and bake. And she just wants to give a shout out to all her coaches and people who have helped her throughout her bowling career. And she's just 15 years old, so I think her career is just starting.
Yeah.
Addison. Let's see if I have a bio for Addison up here. I like her B jersey. I don't have one. I do have a bio for Jordan, but I'm gonna wait until the next frame unless she picked up that split. That was unfortunate. Did you watch any bowling the first game?
Yeah, I was up at the high end. I was around where the 300 was.
Oh, nice.
I caught the 10th frame of that.
So what did you observe about the way that the bowlers are kind of attacking the long pattern today?
They're attacking it very intelligently. They're playing the lanes. It's one of the other things that you see more and more of is these kids are now a lot more knowledgeable about how to play these different sport patterns. It used to be that everyone kind of did what they were comfortable doing. They played every pattern like they normally do on the house shot at home. And
Right.
it's not like that anymore. They know how to move. They know how to play different parts of the lane. And so up at the high end was the U18 boys, and all of them were playing further left, keeping their line a little bit tighter to the pocket, not giving it away too much because it is a longer pattern.
Sure.
So they're learning. We talked about it throughout the weekend. They're getting better at a younger age, and there's just so much more knowledge out there. The YouTube videos that Storm puts out, there's just a lot of educational videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And everyone has access to that now. It's pretty cool to see.
It is pretty cool.
But generally speaking, they're doing what I would expect people to do on a long pattern, playing further left, keeping the ball closer to the pocket, because the longer the pattern is, usually the closer you want to keep the ball as close as possible to the pocket. You're not giving it away because there's not a lot of dry at the end of the pattern, so not a lot of time for the ball to hook. You send it too far right, you're seeing a lot of people miss the head pin, or too far to the outside. If you're left-handed, if you send it too far left, you'll miss the head pin.
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw a little bit on the first games. Kind of exactly what you said. Most of the girls were attacking it exactly as we said. Hey, this is how probably we would attack the long pattern, and they all were demonstrating it, and they all bowled great. I mean, our low game I think was 179 on these two pairs, or on these. So it's definitely, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell they're learning for sure.
Yeah, even those with lower rev rates are able to play a line that still suits their game. You don't have to have a high rev rate to bowl on a long pattern, but you're seeing those with lower rev rates have a more direct line to the pocket.
And have the right surface.
That too.
It's amazing because the first couple times we put down the long pattern, you didn't see a lot of surface, which sometimes you don't need surface, but I do see the right ball selections going down the lane more and more too.
Yeah.
Addison Cole, who's up on 16, she has picked up 2 medals this weekend as well. So she's bowling great. Her dad, Heath, is a college coach. I don't remember the name of his new school he coaches for, but he's here this weekend, and his teams are ready to start a new season. He just moved to a new school.
Okay.
And so it's a new program, and he's excited to take out the 2 teams, boys and girls. I mean, that's what's incredible, too. There's just, not only are the big schools, right, that Wichita State, Weber International, McKendree, like those schools, right? But there's so many schools that are growing all the time. These kids just have incredible opportunities. And then you have Bella Love Castillo, who just destroyed the pins on lane 16.
Yeah.
Two-handed girl coming up.
Two-handed girl. You're going to start seeing more and more, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're very close. We had Chris Vi was with us at the SYC in Ohio, and we had 10 two-handed girls at that event, which had to be an all-time high for us. I mean, it's not like we keep track of that, but it's, I can't remember having 10 two-handed girls in a tournament. So that kind of was our eye-opener, like, okay, We're close. We're close to having that two-handed bowler out on the PWBA tour.
Yeah, it's certainly trending that way. And I think Bella has bowled some PWBA tournaments before, hasn't
Yeah. I know for sure she bowled one this year. She bowled in Texas because she's from Texas.
she? Yeah.
So she bowled, I think it was that 3 tournament one that they had this year.
At USA Bowl.
Yeah. And she did great. I mean, I think we do talk about it a little bit, and I would love to hear your opinion, like having the youth bowlers when they're reaching that age where they've had success on the youth tour, going out and trying a PTQ, trying a regional. Like, I think more and more of the youth players are doing that, and I think it's a great eye-opening experience for them, right?
Yeah, definitely. It could go both ways. You could have a bowler that has had a lot of success. Someone like Spencer, for example, he's had a lot of success at the youth level, at the SYCs, at Junior Gold, Junior Team USA member, and then he goes out and bowls the Masters last year and makes the TV show there.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen that way, though.
Yeah.
A lot of times it goes the other way. You have someone that's had a lot of success at the youth level. They try their luck on the PBA tour, and their first tournaments don't exactly go as planned. Maybe.
Sure.
I think a lot of times expectations go down a little bit, but still, I think a lot of people are humbled. Maybe would be the right word.
Yeah.
There's a pretty big difference, and I think that's where those PBA regionals come into play. I think that those are a really good stepping stone to the real tour. Because at the regionals, you'll see a couple of guys that are full-time bowlers on the regular tour.
Sure.
But a lot of guys that bowl the regional tour, they're just good amateur bowlers that have a full-time job during the week and just like to bowl on the weekends. So you've got that mixture of good amateur bowlers and some top-level professionals, and now you can test your skills against these guys on a weekend. I think that's a good stepping stone. And if you do well there, I always like to go. My career, I kind of went through the different steps. I had some success at the youth level. I had some success collegiately. Then I started bowling some regionals and the full tour after that. So I think it's a good idea to go through the steps like that. Make sure your learning curve is continuous that way.
Well, and I think something you said earlier was the expectations might go down, which isn't a bad thing sometimes, because like when kids go into a youth tournament or a tournament they bowled over and over and over, their expectations are the highest that they possibly can be, right? They expect to succeed really well. But then when you go into like a PWBA tournament, and when you're a kid, when you have the opportunity to do that and you can take scholarship money, you're not bowling for a living yet. You're bowling against the players that are bowling for a living, but really there's nothing to lose. You're just there to learn and try to see where do I match up and what do I need to improve on.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of that stress and pressure off that some of the pros feel every week.
It's definitely different bowling for money versus bowling when your parents sign you up to a tournament.
Yeah.
When it's your own money, when even if you have a backer sponsoring you, a lot of kids do that right after college that go on tour. They find somebody to sponsor them. That's a really cool thing. I did that for a little bit when I started too, because right after college, chances are you don't have a ton of discretionary income to just spend on bowling tournaments. So finding someone that believes in you and that's willing to put up some money for you to get that experience that you need is, if you're lucky enough to do that, I think that's a good way to go until you start making some money of your own, and then eventually you enter your own tournaments with your own money. But it is quite a bit different when it's your own money that you're putting up.
Yeah, and I tell girls especially, like, that the summer, if you are planning to go to grad school or you want to get a job and you bowled in college, that summer between college and starting a career is the best time to go and just try the PWBA tour. Try a few stops, see how you do, see how you like it, because, I mean, like, life changes really quickly after you graduate, and it's harder. You're really in your best if you do go out and get a job per se. You're in your best bowling shape and bowling thinking right after you finish collegiate bowling.
Yeah.
And if you hold on to that and keep going through that, then that's the best time. And I think that as well for grad school. And I mean, yes, you can go back to school at any time, but if you even feel like you want to go to grad school, do it right after undergrad, because otherwise it's hard to go back.
Yeah, they say it is tougher to go back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Once you experience, I think it's funny, right? They always say school, when you're in school, those are the best years of your life, and
Yeah.
and they are some really cool years, but at the same time, I like making money.
Yeah, right?
So that I think that's why it's hard to go back for some people. You
Yeah.
experience, you're earning money, you've got some money to do what you want. People don't necessarily want to go back to school.
Yeah, plus you all of a sudden have to balance. You have to figure out how to balance your time, right?
Yeah.
Which you do it all through school, right? But it's just you think differently. Like if I were to think, because I didn't get my master's right after undergrad, and if I were to look at my life and go, yeah, I want to go back to school, I don't know where I'd fit it in right now. So so it's really a balancing act. So I think if anyone wants to do that, just do it then.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah, I think you were talking about the PWBA. I think it's pretty much the same thing for the guys too.
Yeah.
That was my thought process after college. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and knowing that bowling was something I've always wanted to do, I wanted to give it a shot. And I thought there's really not going to be a better time than right now, right out of school, to do it. So that's what I did, and I kind of gave myself 2 or 3 years. I said, if I'm doing this for a couple of years and I'm not making any money, then I'm going to move on and do something else. I've got my business degree, and I'll go find a job.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
of course, it worked out for you.
It did. Yeah. Luckily, it worked out for me. But it would have been a lot harder had I gotten a job right away to try to eventually quit that job or try to work part-time and figure that out. Maybe right out of school, maybe you get married and maybe you have kids, and now it's even harder to go out on tour. So I didn't want to look back and think, what if? So like you said, I think if you want to do it, right after school is probably the best time to try it.
Right. And if you're getting your feet wet a little bit when you're a youth bowler, you don't have that. I mean, you'll still always have that immediate I'm bowling next to Francois Lavoie moment when you're stepping on the lanes for your first Masters or US Open or even just a regular event. But if you've done it when you're younger, it's not as traumatizing, I feel like. Because that first moment when you step in, like whoever your favorite bowler is, you're going to probably be bowling in the same squad or building with them. And it's overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. I remember my first Masters tournament. I was a senior in college, so kind of going back to getting your feet wet and going through the steps throughout college. I was bowling well collegiately, and then I started bowling some regionals. And my senior year was really my first real PBA event. I bowled the Masters in Wisconsin, and I made the cut. And in the matches, I bowled Tommy, I bowled EJ, I bowled Pete. And this was my first real experience with the tour.
How'd that feel?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a really fun experience.
Yeah.
But like you said, there is that element of being starstruck. And, even today, sometimes you look back and think, I'm doing what I wanted to do when I was a kid. This is cool.
Right.
This is really nice. You're looking around, and some of them are starting to retire, but Norm was one that I looked up to that since I was a kid. He was one of my favorite bowlers, and I've had the chance to bowl with him, and I bowled on TV against him. That was pretty special.
Yeah.
Those are just experiences that I wouldn't have had if I didn't follow my dream, if I just decided to get a job right after school.
Now, were you in Maine when you were in Maine?
Yeah.
Did you see Norm's final shot?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was right there off to the side. I was on the side of the cameras, so on the right side, not on the left side with the crowd.
Yeah.
I was right there. I got some videos, and I thought about posting something and making a post, but I didn't really know what to say. I had a conversation with Norm afterwards, and it was funny because we've gotten to know each other a little bit, and we talk at tournaments, and I went up to him and I said, I don't really remember what I said to him, but I said, essentially, I said you've always been one of my favorites. It's been great to be here with you, and
Yeah.
and I told him I don't really know what else to say, but he kind of knew. We've gotten to know each other's personality a little bit, and
Yeah.
he said you're saying a lot more than you think right now just by being here. So that was a pretty special moment. I still have the videos. I haven't made a post.
Yeah. Norm is awesome. Norm, you've worked junior gold, so you know what a stressful time that can be sometimes.
Yeah.
But Norm was with us this year, and we knew he was going to retire, but I don't think we knew he was going to announce it in Maine.
Yeah.
And junior gold was like 1 or 2 weeks after. And so a lot of these youth players that actually are bowling today got the chance to go up and say thank you. And, you can imagine what the line was like to see Norm
absolutely.
do. But it was one of those, there were a lot of people that were just coming up and saying, I just want to say thank you to him. And what's really cool is Norm's still going to be around. And I think what's awesome, because we have talked to him a little bit, Norm wants to do more clinics and he wants to do more appearances. So you might actually get to see Norm now off the lanes more, because I don't think people realize, like, the PBA 50 tour, they bowl a lot. They bowl a lot of weeks. Yeah. And so now he has a few more, he can go and have more time to compete. So, or not compete, I'm sorry.
Do the extra
yes,
stuff.
Yes. So we have Miss Bella Love. She is going to lead her pair, which isn't shocking.
It's a strong finish after a tough start. 74 in the fifth. She can strike here for 224.
Let me pull up bowl metrics while I'm sitting here. SYC.
We were talking earlier, but I think the people watching probably noticed the Lily on lane 16.
They did.
Yeah.
But he did recover with a strike after that, so that was just unfortunate. Bella's leading her division. She's plus 140, and Bailey Sechrist is in second at minus 129.
That's for the overall standings?
Yeah, overall. Bella's got her division pretty locked up. And then on the long, her first game was 222. So she's 222, 223. She's just coasting along here.
Yep.
And then Tori Franklin had a 191 game. She's bowling on 17 and 18. And Riley Emerson is third currently, just after game one. But Addison Cole was right behind her. And was she the... She was E, which had a 205. So that's a great solid start just to get another medal. And she was third overall, I believe. Let me go back. Yeah, Addison was third overall, so she's looking good to solidify that. Although Tori is right behind her overall. She is 18 pins after game one today behind Addison. So third is a close race right now.
Yep.
In the U15 boys, overall Sebi Vetter is plus 256, but Brady McDonough is about 50 pins behind him, maybe less, 40 pins behind him. And then Mateo Quintero is third currently. But third is a tight race for this one too. It seems like the second places, first and second, have gotten themselves far enough away to race between themselves, but third is tight.
Yeah.
U12 boys, Miles Gordon he's coasting along in this tournament. He's still plus 68.
Miles is the one who won gold last night, yes?
Yes, gold and gold.
Two golds.
He shot 298 in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah,
and then
okay.
he was the one that we were watching that went around Trevor.
Yeah.
Although Miles, wow, so Miles is plus 68, but he started today with a 132 game.
Ooh.
So, and I think he's coming to this pair next. I don't know what he shot last game, but he really had a very strong lead. But sometimes that doesn't always feel good.
Yeah, it's different. It's different for sure. Going into the last day of an event with a big lead is a different feeling from going into the last day. Maybe you're tied for first, or you know,
Right.
very, very different. Both hard to cope with. Both can be hard to cope with.
I think our closest race today is going to be the U18 girls because this division is within 100 pins either way. So Kira Maxim, Gianna Brandolino, and Abigail Starkey are the racers right now in our third position. Peyton Rally's right behind them, and Rachel Moore could break in too. So that
Is that
U18
five girls competing for the top 3 spots?
Yeah, I mean Kira has a little bit of a lead. She's probably 50 pins ahead, but I know these girls, Gianna and Abby and Kira, they all can strike, and so I would not put it past any of them. 100 pins is not enough.
Yeah.
in that division. And Gianna and Abby just moved up from U15 to U18 girls, so. But every other division looks like it's just racing for third. The first place is kind of they're out ahead. So anyway, we'll keep you updated as much as we can. But we are going to take a short break. I'm going to leave the 15 and 16 rolling. I think we're going to try to get Billy Murphy in again to do some chatting this game. Everyone enjoyed hearing a little take from a collegiate coach yesterday. So we'll get him in here. Oh, and we get to watch Sebastian Vetter. Well, Francois, as always, thanks for hanging out with us this weekend and answering parents' questions and youth bowlers' questions.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me. It's always nice to see that if I stop practicing, there's a lot of people that are going to beat me pretty soon.
Kind of keeps you motivated,
Yeah,
right?
it does. It does motivate me. I'm going to have to, after this weekend, I'm going to have to ramp up the practice sessions.
I meant to tell you today too. You were on the stream yesterday talking about your lane tack stats and how some of the unfortunate splits and spares that you left. Yesterday, there's a bowler that told one of the parents because he was filming and he got 3 7-10s on film.
Yeah.
He had left 6 7-10s throughout
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, I know someone who feels that pain.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot,
6
right?
on the same day.
Yeah.
That might be worse than me.
I can't remember the bowler's name though. I'm gonna have to go ask the parent that told me.
Yeah.
3 were actually captured on film. So 3 of 6.
Impressive. That'll be an interesting vlog.
Yeah.
You'll
It's kind of brutal.
You'll have to let everybody know what vlog it is, what YouTube channel it is, and we'll go watch it.
I think the channel is when the lanes come on.
Okay.
I believe, and it's actually Micah Voris
Okay.
And Abigail Starkey and Morgan Klein and Keegan Alexander and Gianna Brandolino, they all kind of appear
So
throughout.
they've got a group.
They do, and it's really, they started it because they're all in the same graduating class. So they wanted to create some interviews and showcase like what they do
Yeah.
and what happens and what they know and that stuff, so that they can show a collegiate coach
Very
as
nice.
they're getting close to graduating.
It's a good idea.
These kids are smart.
Yeah.
Another reason to make us all go home and work harder.
Tech whizzes. Yeah. I'm not very good with technology.
I'm not good with editing videos. That's where I struggle. It takes so much time.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Very time consuming. Makes me feel old when I look at my phone or my computer, and I don't know half the things I can do on it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody else, I have to ask questions. I was asking Stu a question about Instagram the other day, which made me feel weird. He's the old man, and I'm asking him for advice on Instagram.
He's tech savvy though. He's
learned
stayed
a lot.
with it. Yeah.
I think COVID made him do it.
Yeah.
Through COVID started the Beef and Barnsey show that they have now, and so he's read up a lot of things. There's another 710 on lane 18. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, not cool.
He's read a lot, and he's done a lot of stuff on social media to try to. They started the YouTube channel now for the Beef and Barnsey show, and so yeah, every once in a while I'll ask him something.
Yeah, my great success in the last month has been that I've learned how to stream things on Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Oh, very nice.
I feel really big.
Useful.
I think people have been doing it for years, but I just learned how to do it in the last month. So.
Do you? Because I know your role has changed a little bit with Storm in the last couple of years. Do you still do you still take care of the social media, or do they have a social media person?
At this point in time, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is some expansion happening at Storm. With anything, it's growing, and so I do oversee it. We have some great help now, though. I don't do a lot of. I do the day-to-day stuff for Storm specifically, but some of the other brands, we have some people helping, which is great because social media is gigantic now for anyone that works in it or deals with it. And these kids, a lot of them are using social media more and more to create their own channels and grow their presence and show that they're growing and they want to be like you guys, the pros. So
well, I was listening to it. This is a little off the cuff, but I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were saying that one in 4 kids under the age of 24, I think, have aspirations to be a social media influencer.
That might be the most terrifying thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is something that we talked about Bella Castillo, who was just on 16. She has 100,000 followers on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and she's in the U15 division.
Yeah.
How many followers on Instagram do you have?
I think I'm at 20.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got 5 times that.
Yeah. So, but
I think credits to her parents because they've been building up her social media for a long time.
Well, and they just collect videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you see her dad like constantly filming.
Yeah,
so.
And the fact that I think anytime you see someone that's unique on social media, that'll draw attention. And the fact that she's probably one of the youngest and probably one of the first girl two-handers.
Yes.
That's probably helped her brand a little bit.
Totally, and they've been doing it for a long time. So
Tori
Franklin was the high on that pair with a 205 on 17 and 18. And like I said, we're going to take a short break and because all the bowlers are here, actually. Our booth will be right back. And we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us, Frankie.
Thank you.
All right, we're back as promised. See, we didn't make you wait long.
Right
And
back at it.
I found my friend Billy Murphy.
That's right.
Welcome back, Billy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So everyone in the chat today has been talking about how much they learned yesterday when you were in here about collegiate bowling.
Yeah,
so
excellent.
It was good. All good things.
Excellent.
So, and now we're watching some boys in the U15. It looks like mostly U15 boys division in front of us. But you never know with some of these boys. They grow at all different rates.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess U15, and it's like, nope, that was U12. Like,
Well, it is getting harder because, like, you 4 years ago,
yeah,
you could tell the difference between the U12 and the U15
yeah.
because there wasn't as many two-handers.
Yeah, now, no.
But now, it is it's just going right up the ladder.
Right. Yeah, and we've had 2 300s in the tournament, but one today, Aiden Farnsworth.
Yep, nice.
Down at the high end. So yeah.
Which is the tough end of this bowling center.
Is it?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this middle section right here is always the highest scoring section.
I would agree with that because normally our live stream pairs are not super high scoring, but this time I've been like, oh, low game 185, which is great on Sport Channel.
Yeah, little secret about this building. Once you get past lane 12, 13 to about 36 is they're always more high scoring. When the tour guys used to come in, they would be like, is there always such a big difference in the first 12 and the last 12 to the middle? And I'm like, yep, pretty much.
Wow.
We used to only have bumpers on the first 12 and the last 8 lanes.
Oh, so that's where a lot of the...
And so there were only plastic balls going down those lanes, and so they didn't get beat up as much.
Yeah.
And most of the traffic was in the middle. And then they came in and did an overlay probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it kind of took the same characteristic when they put them down because they just put them down on the old surface. And so still to this day, you bowl on the cross. First 12, 4 or 5 boards tighter, middle of the house, hooks, better carry, and then you get down on the last 10 to 8 lanes, and they're just 4 or 5 tighter again.
So, from a bowler's perspective, like if you're listening to this, right, and you hear that about a house, you want to get as many pins in these pairs as possible, right?
Yep.
So bowlers, when you watch this back, these were the pairs to take advantage of.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
So, but you never know too, the conditions and everything. But the other thing Francois mentioned, and you probably can speak on this too, there's like the gutter doesn't play at this house very well, right?
Never has.
Yeah.
Never has. There is we've just always called it a false OB because it looks good sometimes, but never for a whole game.
And it never comes back.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, even on the short pattern, I'm watching, I'm like, what is going on? Balls are like there's out of bounds. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
We were actually just talking about it at dinner, Caleb, Andy, and I.
Yeah.
Because when we had in 19 when the Open Champions were here and we had the Queens.
Yeah.
Like the ladies could not play the gutter when that's where it was supposed to play.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's wiggle there. No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what is laid down, there's just a little wiggle there.
So they unintentionally made it a really hard tournament.
Yeah. Well, the other interesting thing is, I mean, before that tournament, USBC came in and leveled the entire house. Didn't affect it at all. I mean, there was still wiggle right there. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something to it.
Yeah.
So
there's a ghost.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Man. So we do have a mixture. It's interesting because there's a bowler on this pair that has made he just made the U12 finals of Junior Gold.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Ridgely Potter Jr. He throws it one-handed, which it's not typical anymore
It
at
really
this
isn't.
age division.
Yep.
And so, but he's really fundamentally, and actually it's just off camera. He's on lane 14. I thought he was on this pair.
He's up right now.
Yeah, and look how good that form is,
Yeah.
right? At
Great.
age just moved into 15, so he's what, 12, 13?
Yep, that ball roll's really good.
Right.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting to see the kids that are choosing to stick with the traditional.
Yep.
I heard this now. That's the traditional way of
Yep.
bowling, and then two-handed is two-handed, I guess.
Yeah, I have an interesting view of the whole one-handed, two-handed
Oh, let's
thing.
hear it.
It's just not that easy,
No.
right?
Yeah.
As long as Belmo's been doing it, and you see Simonson and you see Jesper, but Oskew was out there for a little while,
Yep.
and kind of, but, the guys that are out on tour, I mean, there's only a couple of them that are being really successful with it because it's just not that easy.
Yeah. Right.
And it does take I think we'll see a change here in the future because there are so many of the young people that started when they were 9, 10, 11,
Right.
and they're just mastering it as it comes up.
Right.
But it's still not an easy skill set.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's and I think coaches have had to learn how to coach it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's like at first it was just a couple kids that saw Jason bowling on TV and they're like, I kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
Then it's like, wait a minute. There's 10 of these kids in the youth league that want to bowl two-handed.
Yeah.
I guess I need to up my skills, right?
Yeah. It is amazing. But even watching Belmo go, from when he first came on the scene to now,
Yeah.
his posture's different.
Totally.
The foot speed is different. How his steps are when he's going up there, just totally different than he was back then.
Right.
I mean, he's just totally, taking his craft to another level. And it's just not. So, this 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I bowled two-handed for 9 months.
You did?
Yeah,
No way.
I bowled the Open Championships 1 year two-handed because I just thought it would make me a better coach to try to figure it out, right? And we have a young man here in town. His name's Gabe Alvarez, and he and I would just talk, right? But I was milking him because he's a pretty good player with the two-handed thing, and he and I were just talking about what I was trying to do,
Right.
just trying to get better at it.
And I love that you said you were just trying to learn how to coach it.
Yeah.
Because really, that's what they teach you when
Yeah.
you're coaching. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't just talk it. Right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. And what I learned at 50, which I already knew, it's just not that easy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but it is it's definitely something that's going to be out there, and there's just so many young people that are good at it now.
Yeah.
But there's still lots of people that are still doing it the way that I grew up doing it.
Totally.
And being successful at it too. So.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Sebastian Vetter is another one that, he was just, I'm glad I didn't have to say it, but he was on the front six because I usually jinx him. Another one-handed player. Now look at that ball roll,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's great. And then he leaves, I still jinx him. Jeez.
Leave him tonight.
Yeah, it's fine. But, so you can do it, you still can do it both ways,
Oh,
people,
yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
Kids, you don't have to be two-handed. You don't have to be one-handed. It's okay to do both. Like,
Yeah,
there's room for
absolutely.
everyone.
And I do think also the coaching that's going on around the country. I've been saying this for years, but the amount of good quality coaching that's going on in our sport right now,
Amazing, right?
it is incredible. There are just so many men and women, out there that know the game, and they're passing it on to the young people.
Frankie and I were talking about that a little bit because the one thing I see when I think back to when I was a youth bowler, which was not that long ago, people, but it feels like it's a long time looking at these kids now,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah.
Because what I remember is I distinctly remember when they were talking to me about staying balanced at the foul line and having to work on that.
Yep.
And now I watch these U12 bowlers that are balanced at the foul line, and you look down if you just stand at one end of the center and look, there's not many kids falling off their shots anymore.
Nope.
which is one of the pretty much
standards that you
You-
have to have.
you
yeah.
have to get that because you
Yep.
can't coach without, like, if someone's falling off their shot and they're not hitting the same spot every time and they're rolling on a sport shot, you got a problem,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it just changes the launch angles through the front, and
Yeah.
then your ball reaction is hard to control. And,
Right.
Yeah.
But I was not 12 when they were talking to me about this.
Yeah. Well,
I was
and,
a lot older.
you know, I tell kids all the time, like I was taught by my grandfather, who had been in the bowling business for a very long time, which was great for me
Yeah.
because I got to spend more time with him. But you just go across the country, and you got Parker Bone, has a training center. Doug Kent coaches
Yeah.
a lot of people. Go
Del
down-
Ballard.
Del
yeah.
Ballard and
Yep.
Carolyn. and
Yeah.
Then you got Bakes
Yeah.
out doing what he does on
Right.
the West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
have it all over.
Yeah.
It's and they're giving back to the kids, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw a video that Mark did about two-handed,
Yeah.
and it was a little 30-minute thing, and he was just showing a lesson of one of his two-handers. I mean, just amazing the information that you could get through watching one 30-minute lesson with Bakes.
Yeah. Well, you bring up Coach Baker and his Camp Bakes. He does the two-handed camps now. I think
Yeah,
that's what he
nice.
calls them.
Yeah.
I think, and he does them in Vegas. And a few of these kids, actually, I think Brady went to one last year.
Mhm.
And you know who else? Chris Vi went to it. He was coaching at it.
Yeah, nice.
And he told me that Bakes helped him and was like, figured out some stuff with him.
Yeah.
And it really made a difference
Yeah.
immediately. So that's a great, again, just so many opportunities for these kids.
Yeah.
If you just,
And just like Chris, I mean, I think he owns a couple of pro shops
Yep.
and probably does some coaching.
yeah,
He's-
totally.
He's not that far out of college
Mm-mm.
and already giving back. Chris is, I sent him a message a while back. I think Chris is really, really good human and has lots to offer for our industry
Yeah.
long term, because he's got a good brain for the sport and just great representative of what we would like to have moving forward, I think.
Yes.
So,
Well,
just a
and-
really good dude.
And he, like you, has him and Mikey
Mhm.
open their pro shop
Yep.
in Columbus, and there are some kids actually bowling out here that I think go to Chris and Mikey now,
Nice.
and they have a great employee in there, Dude Brown, who does the work there, and I hear kids tell me that they go and see Chris Vi, and I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, so he's finding time to give back too, and I think the pro shop's a great place,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yep.
Oh, nice pickup by Andrew over there. It's a tricky one. Little PBA washout
Yeah.
for your viewing pleasure.
He's a local kid out of our youth program.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You guys have a great youth program here.
We do. Kristen Longnecker is doing a fantastic job with our youth here. She's really grown the program, and especially just getting them more involved in sport conditions and getting them more time on the lanes for that.
And it shows. Because
Yeah.
I see a lot of the kids wearing the North Rock jerseys,
Yep.
and they're bowling pretty well.
Yep.
And you guys, there's a lot of youth tournaments that they can travel to in this area too, like Southwest Gold Tour. I've heard
Yep.
some kids mention.
Yep.
So it's a great place to.
Yeah, that one, KCOs are in Kansas City area. They do a really good job. If you want to drive a little bit further than that, there's a Iowa youth tour up there that
Yeah.
a lot of the kids go to. So
Now, so this was a question that came up in the seminar that I thought was a really good question. We get this a lot, and I think you work with a lot of kids from all different areas because kids come to you at Newman from
Mhm.
everywhere, right?
Yep.
So, if you are in an area that's a little more regional or rural, I guess, what advice do you have for a kid that may be watching and they're like, man, I wish I lived and could go to North Rock and bowl on Saturday mornings and go to Wichita Bowling Supply? Like, what advice do you have for those kids?
yeah, I mean it's a commitment to travel sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason in my day that I got good. Besides my grandfather, my mother chose to drive us to Wichita, which was, Hutch is about 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
she would drive us over here. We would bowl Saturday morning youth leagues in Hutch, and then we would come over here and bowl a league in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
My cousin lived over here, Lonnie Wallachek. We
Yeah.
would spend, she took it as a, come hang out with the family for a day.
Sure.
But drive us over here. But it does take a little commitment to do that.
Yeah.
But, as far as like the Kansas area, I mean, if you guys are out there and you want a little more competition, then maybe you're getting in a little town that has 8 lanes,
Right.
and it's, we'd love to have you.
I love
for
it.
one. And the coaching, we have online coaching with our youth. A couple of Wichita State kids come out.
Yeah.
Keblinger comes out and helps on the evening that we have the sport. So
That's great.
there's all kinds of coaching going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you said it, and I know actually Carter Street, who bowled in the SYCs, he's now at Wichita State.
Yep.
I'm sure you're going to see him because
Yep.
he is
He's
addicted to
fat.
bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good too.
Yeah, he is really good.
Yeah.
His dad, I was talking to him when Carter it was his last tournament at the SYC, and his dad told me exactly what you just said, that another parent, which actually TJ Rock, his dad,
Yep.
Craig called, I don't remember TJ's dad.
Mr. Rock.
Mr. Rock, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mr. Rock, they called him and said, hey, what advice, like, Carter wants to do this. We don't know what we're doing because they weren't bowlers.
Yep.
And Mr. Rock said the same thing. Like, well, the way we got TJ into it was we just drive.
Yep.
Just drive. And so that's what Craig told me he did with Carter, is because sometimes traveling is hard. Flights are tricky with bowling balls.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have a kid that loves it, it is a commitment, but just commit to it and do it, and it's the easiest way to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, an event like this,
Yeah.
like we were talking about yesterday,
Right.
27 states.
Exactly.
That's commitment.
No kidding.
Right.
And they're not all flying.
Right.
I promise.
Oh yeah. I was talking to a young lady. Her son's bowling, and they bowled in the Iowa one.
Yep.
And they're here. And I said, "Did you fly to this one?" And she's like, "Yeah, it just worked out." And she's like, "But we just went to the Iowa one a while back, and we drove." And I was like, "And they're from East." She said it was 17 hours. And I'm just like, commitment.
Yeah, right?
Right?
But that is what, and a lot of times we'll talk to parents that they're on Friday, they're working at the hotel room, they send their kid over to the seminar with another family.
Yep.
We have Jeremy Combs in the chat. His sister brought Jaden this weekend because Jeremy isn't traveling. So it does take, having some strategy. And I hear that at Junior Gold too. I was talking to a family. The grandma had brought the youth player. And I knew the youth player from the SYCs, but I'd never met the grandma. And I was talking with her, and she said, parents have to work sometimes. So just be open to it. There's so many opportunities out there, and really, you can see the kids just get better by bowling.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the cool thing about our world after, COVID is everybody found out they could work from home.
Yeah, no kidding.
And there's some jobs that you can't do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's
Most
a lot
people
of them.
can.
There's a lot of them you can.
Yeah. So Sebastian Vetter, who is definitely a fan favorite and was leading going into today, he just shot 234. I'm pretty sure he was the C or the F bowler. And our C bowler on that pair, let me look up. Vetter. Yeah, he was F, and then C was Rhett Ryman, shot 235.
15 and 16, 3 games over 230.
Yeah, who's our D bowler? Let me see. Our D bowler was Caden DeBarra. Yeah, man. See, good pairs.
Another secret, that is the best pair in the house.
15 and 16.
Yeah.
It has been pretty good, I have to say. I need to remember that when we live stream from here.
We had a night in league a while back, and there was 2 young men. They had one had triplicate 268s, and the other young man had triplicate 248 in the same night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your favorite part of working with the kids?
I mean, I just love teaching, quite
Yeah.
honestly. You know, and watching them grow. And hopefully he won't mind me talking about him, but Brady Longnecker,
Yeah.
who is the son of Kristen, when he started doing this, you know, it's just sometimes it's a frustrating sport, right?
You think?
And he was working so hard.
Yeah.
And I just kept telling him, hey, man, just got to be patient, keep working. This thing will get better. And he's, you know, he's still going through the process. But he's 100 times better than he was, you know, 4 years ago when he first walked into the bowling
100%.
center.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it is hard work.
Yeah.
But the best part about whether I'm coaching in the bowling center with youth players that are coming up or at the college level, it's just about watching the growth.
Yeah.
You know, at the college level, I get to watch the growth and I get to watch them graduate, which is, you know,
Emotional, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of sometimes you get them to right where you want them, and have got to a skill level they haven't been at,
Yeah.
and then they leave you,
You're like, no.
and then they go on and they
Yeah.
bowl incredible at tournaments after that. But it's just the growth.
Yeah.
I tell this story sometimes too. Our program is, you know, we want it to be inclusive. We want anybody that is out there, whether you're, you know, you come out of high school averaging 220 or you come out of high school averaging 150, you know, and you want the collegiate experience, you can get it at our place.
Yeah.
We're going to travel you. You're going to get to bowl. We have a baseball player right now. His name's Zach Bowe. And he played baseball his first 2 years at school. And he wasn't getting playing time and stuff like that. But he decided that he was going to do something else. He called me. He had a friend just who he had known that was on the bowling team. He calls me and he's like, hey, coach, you know, I'm not going to do this baseball thing anymore. And I love bowling, but I'm not great at it. But I really love Newman and I want to stay here. Do you think you could, you know, give me a little scholarship money and I could be a part of the team? And I was like, heck yeah.
That's awesome.
So our tryouts last year, he probably averaged, I don't know, maybe 135, 140, something like that. You know, we're coaching him, you know, watching him grow. We take him to the first event. He bowls a little better. Take him to the second event. Well, he averaged 161 in tournament play last year. And I'm just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? You know, it's
Yeah.
the stories like that, you know, just watching them grow, that's really the best part about the job.
Yeah, I think, you know, you mentioned Braden Longnectar, and I did see him bowl yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, he has improved so much.
Yep.
And I think you bring up a good point of, you know, we've talked a lot about stages and steps and following the, you know, it sounds like so cliche, but it's follow the process, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And the process comes quicker for some people
Yeah, it does.
than
Absolutely.
others, and it's okay. Like, everyone is on their own. I loved it yesterday. You said everyone's on their own journey, and we're just part of it, right? A
Yep.
little tiny part. So it's really cool, and I think that, you know, you've really showed that there's so many opportunities for kids, right? Like, if you have a youth bowler and you want them to find a place, find the right place.
Yeah.
Like, have those conversations. Have the hard conversations.
Absolutely.
Ask the hard questions. I think as a coach, you want to be asked some deep questions, right? I mean, not all the time, but
Well, I mean, I love it when the athletes communicate, you know, because you learn more about them.
right.
You get more invested, you know, without them even really knowing that it's bringing you into their life where you can help them.
Yeah.
Anytime we're communicating, I think you said it yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a good thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. It's not I love that. I love there are people like you in the sport that are trying to help the youth along the way, and there's so many people. Really, I mean, it's a lot of the people you just mentioned, right? The bones.
Yep.
When I hear kids are talking, Parker and Leslie, but Parker's incredible. When he comes to a tournament, after it's over, or even like after practice session, when all 3 of the kids were bowling and Parker was here, he would host like little practice session debriefing in the hotel room for anyone that wanted to come and sit in. And it was great. Like, and that's what he does. And so
he's always been great. I mean, just how he represents what we do.
Totally.
I mean, this one right here in front of us.
Yeah.
Watching him grow the last few years, right?
Yeah.
You know, in the U12 now. I mean, you know, he's getting taller.
Yeah.
And his game is developing.
You know, he does some science experiments for Storm on the morning bolt.
Nice.
And one has been these gloves he wears now.
Mm-hmm.
And he did an experiment on the his hand slipping because he's a two-hander.
Yep.
And so he started wearing gloves. And he did an experiment without gloves and with gloves. And it totally made a difference for him. So he started wearing them, and we're like, man, that's a good idea.
Probably helped his rev rate.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there are some companies that have played with some of the like tacky spray, and there's different things, but quite simple. And then you have Dawson Cole, right? So Brady, growing up, he's two-handed. He's getting stronger. He's getting a little taller. Dawson Cole's the same way, right? He moved up in the U15 division. He was winning the U12 division. I think U12 to U15 is a really tough jump.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like you're growing, and you know, as a pro shop operator, keeping that fit in check.
Yeah, well, that age group grows at a ridiculous speed.
Yeah. How many times do you have to check some of the kids' fits that are like elite level players? Like,
well, we really try to. I mean, we try to check them every year.
yeah.
You know, sometimes again, communication. Sometimes they'll be like, "No, I want it just like that. It fits perfect. We're good."
Right.
You know, but you know, we gotta when they're growing, we try to keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, that's the age group that's growing. But Dawson, like we talked about, still a traditional one-handed delivery.
Yeah.
Pretty stellar. Not bad.
Yeah. These kids know so much more than I did when I was their age.
Yeah, well,
It's amazing.
Francois came in, and I thought it was so kind of, no one's ever said it like this, but he goes, these bowlers are playing the pattern intelligently.
Yeah.
They actually are coming in. He's like, I used to come in and watch, and everyone kind of was playing where they were comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're not. They're playing where they should be playing.
Yeah. No, I love when this tournament is here every year because I get 2 days of. I mean, and I obviously enjoy watching bowling.
Yeah.
But it's just fun watching them and watching the progression and seeing the athletes that did start in U12 and have come up, and you know, it's junior gold is fun for me in that aspect too, because you see these kids grow up right in front of you while you're trying to get them to come compete at your school.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like this little group right here, you know, Joss and.
Right. Mateo, Brady. They've been growing up together.
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
Right.
Just hanging out.
I mean, Joss and Mateo are literally best friends. And it's another courtesy or whatever of bowling. Like, it's all because of bowling, right? Joss lives in Chicago, Illinois. Mateo lives in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
These two kids would not have been best friends without bowling, right? But now they know each other. Mateo will go up and stay with Joss, bowl tournaments in Chicago. Joss will go down to Tennessee, stay with. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. Like,
building relationships and saving money at the same time.
Amen, right? I mean, well, they're learning the strategies that we do, right? Because I'm sure you're like me. It's like, okay, well, there's a tournament in this area. Who do I know there?
Yeah, it was funny watching Joss walk out of the building last night. There was 9 or 10 of my guys from school were hanging out the door, and he goes by, and they're all like, "Wasn't that Joss?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, it's awesome that they knew that.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Well, the other thing that these kids have on us all, I think, because they're gonna beat even me. They do social media.
Yeah.
Like pros, right? So they now. It used to be a little scary to have kids on social media, and I think it still is,
Yeah.
right? But there's so much that can be gained from letting the kids connect and talk, and then they play video games together. Which again, I'm not a video game expert, but you can talk in like video game
Yeah.
land, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you work with the college kids.
Not my area.
Yeah.
Oh no, these college kids, they do it.
Yeah, it's like they get headsets, and I think I was when I moved out from Ohio to Utah. I lived with the Holsenbergs for like 6 months, and Barrett was 10, 11, somewhere in there, and he had just gotten this Xbox thing, right? And so I know nothing about this, but I was experiencing this with them, and they needed the headset, and they needed this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a whole world here. This little guy, he won the I Am Bowling scholarship
That's
today.
right. I heard that.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, Chase is my assistant coach, Justin, who was one of my first recruits 20 years ago.
No way.
That's his son.
So your first recruit
Yeah.
is still coaching
Mm-hmm.
at Newman.
Yep.
And now you get to watch his son bowl. How
Yep.
cool is that?
His whole family. He's got an older sister, Peyton, who bowls. She was going to bowl this event, but she plays high school volleyball also. So she was
multi-sport,
yeah,
talent,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, just
No.
athletes. Athletes, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So the gaming thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting when we're on the road.
Yeah.
And you need something or whatever, you need to talk to one of the athletes. You come, you knock on the door, they let you in. And there's a balance between them having a good time. So sometimes I'll come in and they'll just be wrestling or whatever.
Yeah.
Other times I'll come in and they'll all have their laptops out and they'll be studying,
Okay.
which is great.
Yeah.
Right? And then this was 3 years ago, I think. I knock on the door, open up, and there was like 4 TV screens, just, and they were all playing whatever game it was. They all had headphones on, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on here?
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Like, and they do bring their own monitors. They and that's it's amazing. But I've heard that some of these kids come to tournaments and bring devices, and they have the switches and they have this, and I'm like, okay, you guys just have fun.
Yeah.
I am up for whenever the kids at the host hotel want an old-fashioned game of Uno. I'd step in and I play that.
There you go.
That's about all I can do. This all the video game stuff. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, have fun. Although it is pretty fun because we see the kids. We're staying at the True, which is pretty close to the bowling center. That's one of the host hotels. There were a couple because they're kind of smaller, but this one had a pool table. And last night, some of the kids were trying to either learn pool, and kids were teaching kids to play pool, and some kids need to stick to bowling.
Right.
but yeah, it's pretty fun to watch them. They're still competitive.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere you put them.
Yeah. We have a ping pong table on our campus in our activity center, and I used to think that I could play ping pong. One of my young men, his name is Caleb Limes.
Yeah.
He has graduated, but he put an old-fashioned beat down on me, and I have not played since.
That was it.
Yeah, I was like, I am not going over there again.
That's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, they're, whatever they're doing, gaming, this, they're all pretty competitive.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, I would not take any of them at any sport anymore. Although I did hear a rumor that we might be attempting some pickleball later today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, over at the Chicken and Pickle.
That pickleball.
It's exploded.
It has exploded.
Yeah, it's insane. Have you tried it yet?
I have not.
Okay.
But I did. There was a show on it. The history of it.
It's a cool story, right?
Have you seen that?
I heard that it was a guy that his kids were bored, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just put together a new game for them to go and play.
Mowed the grass in the backyard, made a little court, go at it.
Yeah.
And it turned into, what it is. And it's been quick. I mean,
It's insane.
We got a place called Chicken and Pickle.
Yeah.
Is that where you guys are
Yeah,
going?
that's where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's hard. It was hard. We were trying to get a reservation, just like anyone that from the tournament that comes out. We're just there. We hang out, whatever. And trying to get a reservation was hard.
Yeah.
Like they're packed.
Yeah, that
They're
place.
like, we're. This is every week for us.
Yeah, it's pretty busy most of the time. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I've heard it's unfortunately past bowling is the fastest growing sport.
Does it really?
Yeah, that's the sad
I don't
thing.
believe it. It's not true.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not at the youth age group. Maybe at the adult age group. Or
I think
the
somebody's
senior
I think
age group.
someone's just making that up.
Okay, I'm with you. I like your positivity over there.
We're still growing fast.
Yeah. Oh, we are, especially with these kids.
Yeah.
And we talk about another one, Garrett Andrews, up on 16. Another up and comer. He just picked up a PBA national title because they have PBA Junior national. I'm sorry. Yeah. So now you can win a PBA title as a junior too.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah. Because we were talking when Francois was in. We were talking a little bit about how some of the kids now can get their feet wet on not only the PBA Junior circuit, but they can go and try a regional.
Yep.
They can go and try a PTQ. Do some of your college players, have they tried to go and do some PTQs like US Open, that kind of stuff?
Maybe a couple, but they just go bowl the regionals all the time, which is, one of them was like, hey, you're gonna be okay if we go do this, and I'm like, I want you to bowl everyone you can. Every time you bowl, you learn, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
And so there's been quite a few of them that are doing that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, even the high school kids, we had one kid out of our program that was going and bowling, and he thanked me because I told him to go do it.
That's great. Yeah.
And I said, the only thing you just got to understand the perspective of it, because those guys are good, even at the regional level.
Totally.
Forever, that crew that bowls those every 2-3 weekends a month, those guys, there is not a huge difference between the regional guys and the touring pros.
No.
And a lot of times the touring pros are bowling those events.
Yes.
So if you go with the right mindset, cash, don't cash, but you're learning, it's a great venue for that.
Yeah, or you might accidentally bump into a guy like PJ Haggerty that has a full-time job that goes on a 3-win streak.
Yeah, just wins them all. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's always that fun too.
PJ, that guy. Woo.
Yeah, he's fun.
I loved watching him bowl in college. Except when he was bowling against us. I didn't. That was not one of my favorite things. Watching him run us over.
I can't understand why.
Yeah.
But
he did it with such a good attitude.
Yeah, and he's another player that when you talk about someone who's gone through, he had success at Junior Gold. He was on Junior Team USA. He went and bowled in college.
Yep.
He beat up on Billy and his team.
Yep.
And then he went and got a full-time job and decided, hey, I really like this life. I mean, well, he did go out on the circuit a little bit first. Yeah, he did. He was on the national tour, met his wife, who's awesome.
She is. Yep.
And then he gets married, has some kids, is a full-time job. Now he helps bowlers through his full-time job.
Yep.
And now he just shows up at regionals. And, he was cool. We just had him on the morning bowl, and we were talking to him. And we asked him, we go, what are you practicing? Are you what are you doing? And he goes, no, I think it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't have time to practice. I have 2 kids that are in kindergarten. I have a full-time job. But he told us that he does a lot of visualization before he goes out. And obviously the fundamentals are there.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and he shows up and he can win.
Yep. Well, and, a lot of that stuff, you learn in the college programs. He came out of a Fresno State program that was really, really good. They won a national championship while he was there.
Right.
And, Coach Preble, is a really good friend of mine and does a great job out there with that program. So, and PJ, he was just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just the energy that he always brings when he's bowling. And I will tell you, he bowled here in this building a year ago. We have a Swiss tournament, it's trios tournament, but I mean, there's people coming in from everywhere for it. And he has calmed down. Like, he's not running them out 5 lanes like he used to.
He's a dad.
He's a dad, yeah. But I still enjoy watching him bowl.
Yeah.
Just the rhythm of what he does, and just another good example of what is good about our sport.
Absolutely. And just gives these kids, like, there's a path for everyone, right? You can stay in it, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, you were talking about his path, right?
Yeah.
Because you're coming out of college and you're like, okay, I'm good enough to be out there. And he goes out and bowls for a couple of years, and he did all right.
He did fine, yeah.
Did all right, and just realized that maybe home was a better place and wouldn't have to travel as much.
Right.
And, time to have a family. So.
Yeah. Want to have a couple kids, like.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to do it.
Yeah. And you still can win. He told us on the morning bowl that we asked him, we're like, well, so what are you bowling the rest of the year? And now he's a little older.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told us, he's like, I told Janae, the kids are getting older. Cooper, his son, plays baseball. He's gotten into all the travel baseball stuff, which is a big commitment, right?
Yeah, it is.
So he said, he goes, I told Janae, I don't think I have that many more seasons to chase the player of the year, the regional player of the year.
Yeah.
So he's chasing it this year.
Yeah.
So he's gonna try to commit to a few more regionals, really try to make some stuff happen, and life changes.
I mean, how many people can be having a better year than he's having right now?
Well, but his region is Darren Tang. It's there's who else? The young kid. Cortez Shank is in that region.
Cortez is a good player.
Yeah, so and 2 players that also came out of the collegiate circuit and went on to have great success. So, but like you said, you tell the college kids, anytime you show up at a regional, there's some talent there.
Yeah. It's deep most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably just win 2 more times and
seal it up.
Yep.
Yeah. So Josh just announced to the world he has 6 in a row.
Yes, he did. He knows he's on the live stream.
He's like, I got 6.
You're not that as savvy as he is with social media.
No.
Not knowing that these cameras aren't on him.
No,
so.
he knows. Yeah. I was trying to look up and see how our races were doing, because Garrett Andrews, nice pickup right there, another PBA washout. He and Keegan were pretty solid in the standings, but Keegan is an 8th. Keegan Alexander stepping up on the lane on 16. And really, Aiden Farnsworth has moved into the first position overall after that 300. So I would assume he's having a really good block. Let me go click on our block.
Another thing that I love seeing with these young kids, I mean, we've seen the super washout picked up twice in the last 30 minutes. The spare games are getting better. There's just, I think the coaching has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah. Well, you know Del Ballard and Carolyn Doran Ballard pretty well.
Oh yeah.
They show up every once in a while and preach the spares.
Oh yeah. I bowled a tournament with Carolyn back in the day. It was a mixed doubles tournament in Dallas. And I don't even know what game it was, but I flagged a 10-pin.
Oh, man.
Turned around and came back, and she just had this look on her face like, don't do that again. So I made sure that I did not miss any more spares.
Yeah. Well, they've made Alyssa into a pretty good spare shooter.
Oh, yeah.
Probably with that same look.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Alyssa doesn't appreciate that look either.
I don't think so.
So.
I was watching her one time. Actually, it was last month. She was on the right of the live stream here. We were somewhere, and Carolyn was standing next to me, and we didn't have the live stream on, and Alyssa was not looking or coming back to Carolyn, and it was like 5 full frames, and Carolyn was trying to communicate a move to Alyssa, and Alyssa she does not look up.
She does not.
She's like, I don't need to look at this.
Yeah.
I know it's there.
I will tell you, though, I think Alyssa has done a good job of managing being CDB's daughter.
100% agree. Yes.
And not only are you that, but you're also Dell's daughter.
Yes.
And, sometimes that can bring some other emotions into it, but
yes.
She seems to do a pretty good job of not worrying about all that stuff.
Yeah, we talk about it with Alyssa and then also with the Bones, right? Because Sydney was bowling on a pair yesterday, and she was having a great game. And we like to remind anyone watching, like Justin or Brandon or Sydney, it was a choice for them to get good too.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't just come naturally because your name is Ballard or because your name is Bone. Like, these kids work hard.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt.
And you mentioned the training center that they just opened, and I know Justin's home working on that now, and I mean, it's a family business, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
So, but Sydney didn't bowl for a long time either. She kind of avoided it.
Yeah, it still got her though. The game just gets you.
It does.
Sometimes it just sucks you in.
Yeah. Well, I think she just got tired of going and watching the boys bowl, and she's like, all right, my turn.
Right.
She's pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think it is cool though. Having that name kind of does bring stuff with it.
Oh yeah.
But
it brings a natural spotlight.
Yeah, but it's so cool. A lot of these people are friends of mine.
Yeah.
But it's so cool seeing their kids now that have chosen to play the same game.
Yeah.
And excel at it.
Yeah.
Doug Kent's daughter, Doug and Chrissy Kent's daughter,
Natalie, she's awesome.
Is going to be great. And
I think she's looking at schools now too.
Oh yeah.
Is she a senior? She is. Yeah.
I think she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so much of it though. There's so many former professional athletes that have kids bowling.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah, I love. I always ask the kids when Natalie, Sydney, Justin, and Brandon were all bowling. That's a lot of kids to watch. So they had to bring the whole crew, right? It was Doug, Chrissy, Leslie, and Parker, and they would all split up. And I would quiz the kids. Who's your favorite coach? Because when you're picking from that crew, like, I'll talk to any of them.
Did they ever answer?
Sometimes they
did. Were they
did.
trying to keep it private?
The boys were a little more kind of. They wouldn't ever own up to picking a favorite.
Yep.
Sydney always picks. She yeah, she hands down. Because if you know Sydney, she's not afraid to speak her mind.
She is not.
No, which is great.
Yeah.
But she and then Natalie, I think, was the one that kind of talked to everyone, but all their games are stellar. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And then what I loved about it too was at the tournaments they make their own friend groups, right? So you saw like these groups of kids that were all just friends, and the kids forgot. Parker was just dad to all of them, so it's like it's really cool, and legend in the game, Parker Bone.
That's right.
All of them.
Those things that happen at the hotels.
Yeah.
With the youth these days.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we traveled very little bit. You're in your small group, but like the hotel I stayed in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Every night I'd come home, and there's like 20 of them just in the lobby, just hanging out, doing their thing. And it's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just our sport bringing people together.
Well, and that's what I think for any of us that used to bowl or we watch these kids, like, You know, I bowled a couple junior golds. I don't remember how I mean, I remember I did in one of them because it was the best one I did. But the other ones, I don't really remember how I did. But I remember where we went to eat.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
remember going to the pool with my friends. Like, and I think that's, you know, at some point, you mentioned it earlier, bowling is hard. It's not always going to be a great event that you go and bowl, and having that support system with you like we see out here. And yeah, just having that is just the best part of the community. So
Someone asked me what was harder a couple years ago, golf or bowling, and I told them, well, they're pretty similar, except a bowler is moving with a 14, 15-pound object in one direction while the swing is going the other, and then somewhere that swing changes and comes back and is actually moving with you. And a golfer just gets to stand there and do that same thing. So which one is a better skill set?
There is a lot of moving parts and pieces in the bowling game. Yeah. Oh, Joss.
That was a bad break.
That was a bad break. Mateo with the spare here. He's like, Joss, you're beating me, but I'm still here.
But here it comes.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a 10-bagger at you next game.
Yeah. I think it's one. That's smart play by Joss. I don't know where he is in this. Let me pull up the U15.
I was going to say, how's he doing?
Yeah, let's see. He was always just off the medals, I think, this weekend, but let's see. So here's what's interesting. Sebastian Vetter, who was on 15 and 16, he's leading overall, and he is a pretty significant lead. Mateo Quintero was plus 188 overall, and we're watching him. Brady McDonough, who we just saw, was plus 181, and Joss Weems is plus 132. So Joss is pretty. Actually, this game could have been huge for Joss to kind of move into the closer to Mateo and Brady, but he can still finish it out.
Oh, yeah.
Still be a solid game, which I should say he will probably finish it out. You mentioned a 17-hour drive. I think Trevor Ashby is up there. He's from West Virginia.
Oh.
He drove out here.
That is a drive.
That is a drive.
Knowing Joss, though, he might, just throw a 10-bagger in Game 5 and get back into it.
I mean, his first 300 was at an SYC, and it was the last game. He's bowling on 7 and 8, and talk about running him out. The whole tournament was down watching him because everyone was done. He's the last one. I think he ran 10 pair.
Yeah. He's got some personality to him.
I love it. Yeah. Have you heard his rap?
I have not.
Oh, no. I told you about it yesterday. Yeah. All right. I'll send you the YouTube channel.
It's on my checklist to do this week.
Good. You got to listen to it with Kayla. She'll love it, too.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, and we love coming here, and everyone comments on how much home Wichita feels like. It's like the community you come to. I told someone, I go, it's like a mixture of the manners of like what you would experience in like the Carolinas or like the South. Like everyone is so polite and friendly and laid back here, but you still get the Midwest in it too. Like you guys have a little melting pot of
It's pretty comfortable.
Both. Yeah. It's chill.
I always tell people when we're recruiting, like it's big enough where there's things to do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take an hour to drive across town.
Yes.
Right? It's not Dallas, Fort Worth or somewhere like that, but it's not a small place either.
Right.
And it's just it's a good, comfortable place to live.
And it's safe. Like I would send my kid here and not be worried at all. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I call it paradise. My brother and I call it paradise.
Yeah.
And I used to get away with that until I recruited a kid from Hawaii.
Ooh.
And he came, and I kind of had to back off of that one around him because, Hawaii might be, pretty close to paradise as well. So
Yeah, I've heard a thing or two about
Yeah.
Hawaii. Yeah.
seems pretty nice there.
Yeah. It's funny. Man, Hawaii to Wichita.
Yeah.
Does he like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good.
Yeah. He actually told me, he goes, yeah, there's too many tourists where I'm from, which makes sense,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think he thrives in the smaller. I think that's part of the reason he may have chose, Newman, just smaller environment,
Yeah.
learning environment, like we were talking about yesterday.
Well, I think, I grew up in a pretty big city, and then I now live in a smaller city, and I love it.
Mhm.
Now when I go back to the big cities, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people, there's so
Yeah.
much traffic. Like, it's definitely a change of scenery if you've never experienced anything. Like, give it a try, go move.
Yeah, it only takes one trip to like Detroit or Chicago
Yeah.
or LA to make me go, I'm living in the right place.
Yeah. The cars and
Yeah.
the traffic, and some of these families experience it with, they're traveling with their kids, and
Yeah.
the traffic, like, it's just unbelievable in some places.
Yeah.
So, Kansas is a cool place.
It
I would
is.
live here.
It really is amazing how clean these young people's hands are.
Yeah.
It just gets back to the coaching.
Yeah, it's well, and it gets back to the education of the coaches too, because not
Yeah.
only do we talk about kids having so much opportunity to learn, but really it's the USBC has created all those coaching initiatives, right?
Mhm.
And the programs that they've created in the classes, and they put so much effort into that.
Yep.
And so more people are taking the bronze, the silver
Silver, yeah.
coaches, our
Yep.
classes, and learning. And then they've added two-handed bowling into those. And I mean, I think the team there that works on the USBC coaching is the best, and they're
There's a lot of good people.
just trying to teach. And so then they learn, and then they come out here, and the kids have learned from the good coach. It's hand in hand.
I was thinking about this a little bit ago and got sidetracked, but it's amazing how many of the little training centers that are popping up.
Yeah.
Parker and Leslie's place.
Yep.
I know there's a place in Arizona.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you have Weber and the ITRC down south.
Right.
It's an interesting investment to do that, right? But I think in all those places, it's paying off for the people that are getting taught at those places.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I can't wait to see the kids that go through the Parker Bone or the Bone
Right.
Training Facility in the next few years. I mean, Ballard's Bowling Academy is definitely the group of bowlers that were around Alyssa's age that came through with her. They're now all bowling collegiately somewhere. And there's more kids from Texas that we're seeing that go to those nice facilities, and it's cool. It's fun to watch the growth. It's fun to watch the just kids learning.
Some of it is just, when they get done with that and you're recruiting, I'm like, well, who do you work with? And, I work with Dell and Carolyn. And it's not just the statement that I work with them, but you can see the pride.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I got coached by them,
Yeah.
And it's a fun, cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish there were some of those opportunities. I mean, I remember one summer my parents drove me to Michigan because Michelle and Alita,
Mhm.
they used to do some summer camps.
Yep.
But that was a commitment in itself. We had to drive from Columbus, Ohio up to Detroit, Michigan, stay for the week. So now there's just regionally more and more areas that open, and almost, I think in the future it might even be state to state. I could see
Yeah, I think so.
some of these pros going and opening their own facilities, and
Well,
It's what the sport
Carol
needs.
Carol Norman
Yeah.
down south in the
Yeah.
Houston area.
Yeah.
Those guys do a great job.
Yeah.
You know.
I've heard some Oklahoma bowlers working with someone named Anne Marie too.
Yeah.
I think she's okay.
Anne Marie was, she was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone's already saying the Bones Elite training is the Kegel of the Northeast. That's in the chat already. I love it.
Wow, that is pretty good right
High
there.
praise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to tell Leslie.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They've been open for, a month and a half.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
that's pretty good stuff.
But they did make a lot of investment, and it takes not only investment financially, but commitment,
Oh,
right? They
yeah.
decided to do it. They decided to add some of the products from Kegel
Yep.
into the facility, which just makes bowlers better. I mean, you can say, you work with college bowlers,
Yeah.
so you can say that, or they can say that they're hitting their mark.
Yeah.
But are they?
Yeah, well, we got Specto. We practice on the last 6 lanes here,
Yeah.
and we have Specto down there. So when we first got it, that same
That was fun,
conversation.
right?
Yeah, oh, it was great.
Yeah.
What'd you hit? I hit 12. Are you sure?
And then you have the stats to back it
That's
up,
right. Yeah.
I love it. We have it at Storm, and if I'm practicing for a tournament, sometimes I have to get to the point where I actually want to turn it on. Because when I'm first starting to practice, I'm like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I need positive feedback.
I know I'm spraying it all over.
Yeah,
See, kids, it's okay to admit
That's
you
right.
know that you're bowling bad.
that's right. I went and bowled a tournament this summer.
Yeah.
And, I don't have a lot of time to practice, but about 6-7 weeks before that event, I started practicing. And, I was telling Kayla, I was like, I'm not sure this is a good idea. I am on the struggle bus here.
Yeah.
But, it took a couple weeks, and then you kind of get back into some rhythm,
Right.
and it comes back to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the kids really inspire you, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because we see it every week. You come out and whatever tournament, they're bowling every single week.
It is amazing.
I mean, it's and that's how they get so good so quickly, right? Like every week. I like when there's a PBA bowler in here in the booth. I pick on them a little bit, and I tell him like, these kids are bowling more than you are, and he's like, oh, I know, like,
Right, yeah.
I see it.
It is amazing, the schedule. Literally, you could bowl every weekend, I bet, of the
Easily.
entire calendar
Easily.
if you chose to.
So I'm getting listen, Joss Weems is the nicest kid. We've been talking about him, right? He is supposed to, when he comes to the bowling center, find me, and I give him a hug.
Yep.
He did not do that today.
Oh.
And so his dad came and is now mad at me because I didn't give Joss a hug, but he didn't find me.
I'm not sure that's your fault.
Thank you.
That's kind of on Joss, I think.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm. If this is the secret to good bowling, sometimes you have to leave it to the bowler.
That's right.
They know what they need to do.
Yeah. I mean, they should have the plan
Yeah,
when they're coming in.
right. But they get older and they're talking to their buddies. They forget the plan. It's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bet you it won't happen again.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think after that game, definitely not.
Yeah.
So Garrett is he's just coasting along here. Clean game, no problem.
Yep.
Why not?
Doing his thing.
Yeah. He is a stellar bowler. He's only been bowling a couple years. We talked to his parents in Iowa for a long time, and he literally, under 2 years, has he been bowling.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah.
And he's from the Iowa area?
No, he's from
Oh,
Texas.
Texas.
And I believe he's a senior this year, and I don't know if he's nailed down which college he wants to go
Yeah,
to.
wow. We should have a conversation.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't even, like, in your seat, I mean, you just have to go out and look and go, man, any of these kids, anyone want to,
Yeah. Well, in my seat, there's about 50 or 60 other coaches that are thinking the same thing. How do I get him?
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah. Little crossover
Yeah, that's all right.
for a four-bagger.
Catch a little break there.
Yeah. See if he'll make a change. Yeah, so he's another up and coming. But there's more and more kids that were playing a different sport, and like you talked about with the baseball player,
Oh yeah.
the athleticism is there.
Yeah.
So then when they switch over, even later, like high school or whatever, and they come to bowling, they figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is kids that play multiple sports. Coaching
Yeah.
is easier because they've been part of a team, but also there's a 12-year-old young lady that bowls in our youth program, and she started bowling a year ago, and she was big into soccer.
Yeah.
And she still loves soccer, but her dad was like, she loves this.
Yeah.
Like, this is what she's going to do. And he was talking to me about maybe her not playing soccer as much. And I said, I'm not sure you want to do that. And he's like, why? And I go, the footwork alone that you have to have in soccer will help her in this sport. And he was like, man, I never really thought about that. And I'm like, yeah, if you have someone who is an athlete and plays other sports, it helps them in this space.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just, but it has the athleticness of our sport is getting, look at the guys out on tour, the ladies out on tour.
It's
I mean,
changed.
they're all,
Yes.
they're all working out. They're all doing the things that they need to do to get better. Because it takes a lot of core strength. To do this.
Well, you bring that up, and Francois was talking about Norm Duke a little earlier and how he's chosen to retire, and Norm was talking about that because of the technology and everything that goes into bowling now, the physical game is really important, and he was having to go to the gym. He goes, it's not just bowling. If it was just bowling, I'd probably keep doing it, but it's all of the extra work and time that you have to put in, and everything that goes into it, and eating right while you're traveling, which anyone that travels, it's not, it doesn't happen. So but these kids, like you see them, as they come up, they are more athletic than they ever have been, and they understand, like, at college tournaments, you're on your feet all day. So a soccer player that has all that stamina and everything they've learned from soccer, because they run around a lot.
Yeah. I don't believe Norm, by the way.
No, you don't?
No,
you think he's coming back?
I think that he'll, he might be away from it for a little bit, but he's too much of a competitor, and he's still capable, at least in my mind.
He's 100% capable.
Watching him, I mean, who stays on balance more than that guy?
No one.
Right?
and the hand positions, the tricks he has, the tools.
He's always had. Yeah. His hand is just amazing.
Yeah.
But at some point, that competitive.
It'll bite him again.
It'll get him in.
Well,
he'll show up at a senior event and roll the field, and
I think you're right, because even since he talked to Gary in January about retiring, and then he was he decided to retire, right? Even since then, the conversation has turned into like, oh, well, if they call me and they want me to come back for a special event, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I like it.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think Francois, I guess, wants to come in for the last game.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here, and thanks for sharing all the knowledge. I think parents have learned so much about the collegiate recruiting process,
Excellent.
and they're just finding the right place, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's the key.
Finding your fit.
I love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll be right back, everyone. All right, welcome back. I am joined by Francois Lavoie again. Welcome, Frankie.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, coming down to the wire.
It is coming down to the wire, and well, I searched for who we're watching. My papers have gotten. Oh, here it is. Drake Derflinger. All right, so we are into the 5th game already. It's gone quick today. And in front of us, I believe that we are watching on 17 and 18. We have Jaden Combs, Ethan Caruso, Drake Derflinger, Brendan Drugger, Kyler Campbell, and Aaron Durr. So that is 17 and 18, and then on 15 and 16, we should have Aiden Farnsworth, who shot 300 earlier, Keegan Gebhardt, Nick Gregg, Jackson Green, and I'm sorry, no, we have, that's not right. We have Charlie Hunter. Hold on a minute. What is going on? My stand-ins over here. This is what happens when I don't print off the... This is definitely 17 and 18. Ethan, Drake, Brendan, Kyle, and Aaron. That is definitely 17 and 18. 15 and 16 should be... Yeah, Aiden Farnsworth, Keegan Gebhardt, Nick Gregg, Jackson Green, Matthew Edler, and Nash Fitzgerald. Okay, we've got this. And if I don't got this, the only people that will know are the people in the chat. But I see Keegan, so I think I'm close. And you're looking at some scores.
Yeah, we're still waiting for them to be updated.
Oh yeah.
After the 4th game, they just got here, which means somebody should be up shortly.
Yes.
Inputting those scores.
Yeah, we try to let everybody move. It's easier that way.
But just listening to the names you were listing, it looks like it'll be an exciting finish on the live stream because there's a few of those names that are in the top 10. Currently in the top 10 on the all events.
Nice. That's good to know. Is it a close race? Some of it?
I think it will be. Yeah, the scores are coming in right now.
Okay.
So probably in a few minutes we'll be able to give you guys an update on that.
Yeah, so you do see on lane 15 stepping up right now, Aiden Farnsworth, who shot 300 earlier, and he was doing pretty well today. Obviously we're waiting on that last game, but...
Yeah, he was, through 3 games, he had 736. So averaging 245 through 3. His score for the last game is not in yet. We've got 2 bowlers at... We've got Micah. How do you say that last name?
Micah Voris.
Micah
Yeah.
Voris?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's at 930 for 4. He's in second right now. And Lucas
Hersrud. Oh, yeah.
Lucas Hersrud is, I say leading, but some of the scores aren't in yet. He's
Sure.
at 956, so averaging 239 through 4 games. Aiden Farnsworth was averaging 245 through 3. We're still waiting on his score to be in. Samuel Calderon had 736.
And we see Samuel right to the right of us. You'll see him on your right-hand camera screen.
Mm-hmm.
He'll pop up on that left lane.
Yeah, so waiting on a few scores, but we'll keep you guys updated once we get them.
Yeah, and of course, Jaden Combs here on 17 and 18. His dad, Jeremy's been waiting for 2 days for Jaden to be on prime time. So welcome, Jeremy, to the show. Last game.
Better late than never.
Yeah. We got Ethan Caruso here. Ethan, member of Junior Team USA in that jersey there. He's from the Illinois area.
Did you figure out how many Team USA members were here? No?
Fail. Total fail.
That's all right.
Probably could text Leanne and she could figure it out. Let me text her. She's got nothing else to do, right? Just kidding.
Right.
Last game. So I guess I'll tell the Drake Durflinger story now since Leanne just came up and shared it with us.
Yeah.
I did know that the last year when the Durflingers were here in Wichita, Mrs. Durflinger was leaving after the tournament was completed to go get a dog. What I didn't know was that they named the dog Francois Lavoie.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Dog named after you.
That's a first. That's a first for me.
Yeah.
Well, first that I know of, at least.
I heard you're going to meet this dog.
Yeah, we're going to meet the dog. The dog is in the car right now. And once bowling ends, they said they're going to bring it in and probably take a picture.
That's pretty awesome.
They did say they call it by its full name only when it's in trouble. The dog goes by Frankie otherwise.
That's awesome. I've heard dogs named Belmo. I don't think I've ever heard a Frankie dog. So
Yeah.
this is the first.
First for me, like I said.
Yeah, because you would hear. Someone would tell you.
I think
named
so,
my dog after
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Although if they've had it for a year and I'm just now hearing about it, they might have, I don't know, they might have messaged me and I didn't see the message.
Yeah.
That's possible too.
Yeah. I don't know. Chris Vi kind of keeps under wraps that he has a dog named Belmo. So
Does he?
he does. Yeah. It's a family dog. So
Yeah.
it was, his mom now
Sure.
has it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's understandable. If I was Chris's parents, my favorite bowler would also be Belmo.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Keep the cookies coming.
Oh, I love those cookies. Mama Vi's cookies are legendary.
Very good.
Well, the Durflingers and Frankie are from Liberty Hill, Texas. You'll see Drake step up here on lane 18. His home bowling center's Highland Lanes. And he just loves learning about the game each day. And he's always pushing himself to grow. And I'm seeing his game right now. He has pushed himself to grow because he definitely has grown over the years. And he spends most of his free time in a bowling center. When the weather gets warmer, he likes to go boating. So he wants to say hello to his grandparents and family. I wonder if Frankie goes boating. Does the dog go out on the boat? We need to learn more.
Yeah. We have a lot of questions
Yeah.
for Canine Frankie.
Does Francois Lavoie like to go boating?
I don't go enough. I don't go very often. I enjoy it when I'm out on the lake,
Sure.
but I don't go a lot. Now we've almost got all the scores in.
Great. I'm looking to see if we have any more bios on this pair. I looked up Aiden Farnsworth. I don't have a bio on Aiden. I just know you've shot 300, which we showed that video earlier. We might show it again if we have a little pause in the action at any point. But right now, we want to watch bowling because there's bowling on. I know Jaden Combs is from Ohio, and he's bowled a lot of SYCs, and he is in the hot spot of the recruitment process. He's looking
Yeah.
at schools. He's figuring out where he wants to kind of call home for the next 4 years. He's from Marion, Ohio, Home Bowling Center's Cooper's Bowl. He has identified his favorite Pro Bowler as Carter Street. Carter, who just aged out of the SYCs and now is testing his skills over at Wichita State.
Here, I was gonna say, the name sounded familiar.
Yeah, I think it'll be familiar for a couple years.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have the scores.
Let's go. What do we got?
All right. Braden Longnecker
Local.
from Wichita is leading right now at 991.
That's amazing.
247 average. Had a slow start at 210, but then he shot 238, 279, 264.
Okay.
Lucas is now in second at 956 with a 268 last game. Lots of big scores from this age group here. Christian LaCory, 948 in third. Aiden Farnsworth had a 208 last game, so he's dropped down to fourth. Micah, 930. Braden, you'll have to help me with this name.
Oh,
Malish?
Malish? Yeah.
Braden Malish is in sixth at 928. Samuel Calderon, 191 the last game, so he's dropped to seventh. He's at 927. Dimitri Richardson, 926. Joshua
Maslanich.
Joshua Maslanich, 916. And Colton Bennett rounds out the top 10 at 902. So 10 guys are 100 over or better in the U18 division.
Man, they've been striking today.
Now, if we go look at the total, Sammy Calderon is still in the lead, but that lead has shrunk a little bit because he shot 191 the last game. He's at plus 419. Micah is in second at plus 379, so 40 pins behind. Christian LaCory right behind him at 372. Braden Longnecker, 330.
Wow, so Braden could make it up into that medal stand for overall.
Yeah, he's got a little work to do. He's 42 behind third.
Okay.
And Aiden Farnsworth is in fifth at 325. So he's got to pop at the top three as well.
And Aiden has spare turkey, and he's up and was a little right, but came back.
With a light 7 pin.
Yeah.
We've got Aiden here. Do we know where Braden is bowling?
Braden Longnecker. I have not seen him today. We were actually just talking about him. Billy Murphy was, but I haven't seen him. He should be around here, though. This is kind of all U18 boys, but it's the biggest division, so it spreads the most pairs. But I don't see him. Oh, wait, I could look. Hold on.
I think he was on the low end last game, so he might be to the left of us.
Braden. So Braden Longnecker should be 2 pair down, or 1 pair down. So this is 15 and 16 is 39. So he's bowling with... He should be on 11 and 12. And he should be the letter F, but just confirm that when he steps up. He is the letter F, but I don't know if it's 11 and... I believe it's 11 and 12.
I think so. That looks like him stepping up there.
Right there.
It's like spare open double, I think.
Yes,
or
that
spare double.
Actually, I think it's strike open double.
Strike open double.
Yep. So Nick Gregg has a lot of fans in the chat watching him. I'll try to flag him down and make him wave at the hometown. Kathy, I'll do my best. He's been bowling great this weekend, though. He's picked up a couple medals and pretty nice weekend. Nick has gone spare strike, spare double, and then he just left that 10 pin. For those watching, the Nick fans. Got a lot of people coming in to watch the last game. Thanks for joining us. hopefully we'll try to make it exciting for y'all. I just got a text too. We have a really tight race in the U18 girls apparently as well. So the Kira Maxim, who's been leading all weekend pretty much, Abby Starkey has gotten closer, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's a one pin difference.
Oh my goodness.
Kira at plus 108 and Abigail Starkey plus 107. Then there's a drop off. Morgan Klein is in third at plus 43. Fourth place, Rachel Moore at minus 19. So it looks like Morgan is by herself in third. There's going to be a close race for first and second in that division.
In the 7th frame. These kids are like wasting no time.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever. We'll
I
strike.
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I wish we had this. I wish we had this pace on tour sometimes. Takes us too long to bowl an 8-game block.
Yeah. Because sometimes you don't need to think. You just need to strike, right?
Yeah.
Nice pair by Matthew on lane 16.
So we've got Sammy to the right of us. We've got Micah. Where's Micah? Do we know?
Oh, Micah. Let me see. I don't see Micah to the left of us. He might be on a mixed pair. He's not on my list in viewing.
What about Christian LaCory? Do we know where he's at? I think I see the name. Looks like lane 12, maybe?
Yeah, he is actually on the same lane as Braden. He is D.
12D.
12D, and Braden is
12F.
12F.
And Aiden is right here in front of us.
And I'm looking for Micah Voris. So Micah is bowling with, he would be, if this is 12.
So Sammy's at 68 in the fourth with 3 in a row. Aiden just left a split on lane 16.
So Micah should be on 4 and 5 if I'm doing my.
Well, those are 2 different pairs.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Micah should be on 4. Let me
Okay.
rephrase. 4F, yeah.
4F?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm just writing numbers down over here.
Well, he's going to be hard to track down.
Yeah, actually, he's up right now. So he's 4, but I cannot see that scoreboard.
Neither can I.
Yeah. I can tell you if he strikes or not this frame.
Aiden with a split here, 159 in the 8th. Looks like his chances are slipping away. He was in 5th at plus 325. Sammy doesn't look like he's slowing down. Don't know what Micah's doing.
Yeah, I know Micah just struck, but I can't really even make out if there's a string down there.
We need a score runner.
I know. Maybe I can text him. Let me do some texting.
Braden just split as well in lane 12. I can't see the score.
Oh, we have a score update. So Micah has it looks like 133 with a double.
138.
Is that 138?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 138. You're right. 118 there. So he's in the 9th. He's going into the 10th frame.
So 228 max for Micah.
Yes.
Well, if we can get a score update after his 10th frame, we'll gladly take it so we can update the viewers.
Yes. That was a rough one. So who's still in it? So Sammy is looking like he might be.
Yeah, Sammy's got 68 in the 4th with 3 in a row. He's leading at 419, so he's got 40 pins. He's 40 pins ahead of Micah in 2nd. And then we've got Christian LaCory at 372. And he's on lane 12, but I can't see the score from here. 12D.
So 12D is.
He's got 3 in a row.
Yeah, 118 in the 5th with 3. Oh, wait, that was the LaCory score. So that's not Micah's score. The one we just saw.
No, it was.
He has the same score?
No.
Oh,
Micah had
You're
one.
right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Micah
Yes.
had 138 in the 7th with a double.
Yes. So LaCory has 118 in the 5th with a turkey.
Yeah. Braden just threw a strike after the open frame.
Yes. So he could max out 162, 192, 222 is the most Braden can get to if he strikes out.
What was that for Braden?
222 is the most.
222 max.
Yeah.
And he's in the lead currently on the long pattern, so he's trying to make it into the top 3 in the all events, trying to solidify his performance on the long pattern too.
And Christian LaCory is up now, off screen. Sorry, fans. You continue watching the bowler that you're trying to watch. We'll continue trying to run down the scores. This is the exciting time, though.
It is.
Nash Fitzgerald is finishing off his tournament pretty strong here. He had a very unfortunate 8-pin a couple of frames ago. And Christian just struck again, LaCory.
That'll help him.
Yeah.
That'll help him on both. He's in 3rd on the long at plus 148, and also in 3rd overall at plus 372. Sammy's up on 19. He went through the face 369.10.
So Brady Longnecker really needs a strike here.
Yeah.
He needs to finish this out, or else he's going to get kind of passed a little bit. Although we still don't have Micah. Let's see if I have a Micah update. And Brady struck, Brady Longnecker, so he's still in it.
It's a big double.
That's a huge double for him. I do see Micah's up down there, and I just sent a text out to see if we can get a score update.
Yeah.
Looks like that was a strike.
Do you know where Lucas is bowling?
Oh, let me see. He will be at the high end.
At the high end. Okay.
Yeah.
So we probably won't get that score.
No.
He's in 2nd on the long pattern currently. So Aiden finished with a 194.
So Micah's dad just told me that he believes he's still in 5th. He had 260 something down there. And he thinks he'll be in 5th overall. I don't know about on the long pattern though.
Micah?
Yeah. What was he at overall? Oh wait, he's still in the 5th. Never mind.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah, because Micah was in 2nd
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
So Aiden's done at 194. His final score is plus 319. On the long pattern, that puts him at plus 138. Lane 12, we've got Christian finishing up his 10th frame.
So Christian got the. Oh, he did not get the first one in the 10th. He has a spare. I can't make out what number that was. Was it 8 or 9?
It was a 9, I believe.
Okay.
Can you see the final score up there on lane 12?
I can. It is 247 for
Two-
Christian.
247 on
Yes.
lane 12?
Yep.
That's a good score.
A really good score.
That puts him at plus 419.
It's a solid tournament.
Big score on the big score for the long pattern as well. He was in 3rd.
Yeah, so then we just need to see what Brady does. Brady Longnecker.
Yeah. Plus 195. So Brady needs 205 to stay ahead of him, 204 to tie on the long.
Oh, Sammy just missed a spare.
Sammy shot 202 with that missed single pin.
Yeah, it was a 7 pin.
So 202 just stays ahead of Christian for the all events. Plus 421 for Sammy, plus 419 for Christian.
And on our featured pair, we'll try to give you a Brady update before we go, but Drake Durflinger is finishing out his set right here. You know, there were a lot of good scores on these final pairs just to finish out a great tournament. We have a 210, 217, 210, 190s. Honestly, the low game on 15 and 16 was 194. So everyone's finishing on a high note before they head home for the weekend. And
Yeah.
if
It's always good to finish on a good note.
yeah,
Makes the car ride home or the flight a little more bearable.
Drake leaves that unfortunate 9 pin there. But if you are watching with us, we just want to thank you. Thank you for joining us for the weekend. If you were watching or if you're here with us, thanks to all the families who support their youth bowlers and bring them out to an SYC. Couldn't do it without y'all. So that's always fun to watch the kids bowl. And Brady has thrown his shot down there, and he left a 4-pin.
Yep, looks like a 4-pin.
So 61, 181. What did you say he had to get to?
Brady, if he shoots 205, he'll stay in first on the long. He's at plus 330 overall. Spared that. What's his score? I can't see.
So I don't. He has 181.
In
He has
the 9,
191. He can only get to 201.
201 max.
Yeah. So he really needed that first hit.
Yeah. So it looks like Christian with that 247 might win for the long win on the long pattern. There's a couple of other guys that we don't have scores for.
No.
It looks like 9 again, so 200 even for Brady. Do we have an update on Micah on lane 4?
Well, I think it's 207. 207, I believe, is his score.
207 final score for Micah.
Yep.
That puts him at plus 386. So unless there's somebody else, let's see.
Oh, but we don't have Lucas Hersrud. But he was just chasing overall.
Lucas was in second place on the long pattern.
Okay.
So for the overall, it looks like Sammy Calderon wins by 2 pins over Christian LaCory, 421 and 419. And Micah probably is going to be in third at plus 386. The long pattern, so far we've got Christian with that big game at 195 over, probably winning as far as the scores we have, and
Yep.
Braden more than likely in second at plus 191. So close finish on the long
Very
pattern and
close.
on the overall. We don't have any scoring updates on the U18 girls, do we?
No, I don't. But no, I don't.
Yeah, on that side, it looks like Morgan Klein is going to be in third. She's kind of by herself at plus 43. And then between Kira and Abigail,
Yeah.
plus 108, plus 107.
And that is all the way at the high end. So
Yeah.
we can't see that. So anyway, well, thank you all for joining us. We will shortly have our award ceremony where we will name the champions of this year's SYC Kansas event. Again, we can't thank you all enough if you're here with us or if you're watching at home. Thanks for joining us. And Francois, thank you so much for being here and really helping teach the next generation of bowlers, right?
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, well, we'll see you all next time. The next event for the SYC, we're heading to the Coastal Classic in October. So if you enjoy watching the kids, we'll be back at it next month. So we'll see you then.